Howdy, folks. Welcome to
Got him.
I'm just running this game. D&D, that's what's happening. This is Courts of Everest. That was Matt. Matt's gone. This is Tina. This is Kara. This is Hannah. And this is Alana. Vincent's going to be joining us a little bit. We're going to play some D&D. But before we do, a couple of quick announcements in this chaos-filled night. Last night, we played Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. It was actually a game where the entire party performed relatively well.
We did okay.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of good stuff that happened. You can see that when it re-airs at noon on YouTube on Sunday, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also want to thank Dan for all the different terrain that we have because it's been super helpful.
The founder of the feast.
You can't use any of his services because he said no. Sorry, but Dan is ours. And then Alberon RPG, that is our social media handle on Instagram, on various other places. We have a combat camera, and sometimes you can see stuff on there, but you can see it way better on Instagram at Alberon RPG. And then
all our snacks.
Well, yeah, you can see our snacks. You can see things like that. And then we're going to play a little introduction just to see if it works, and then we'll get started. Yeah. D&D game. Let's get into our recap. Give me just 1 second here. We'll change our music around. All right. Wandering Hearts. Last we played, you found yourselves within the Feywild, the heart of a volcanic island known as Kuatar Artraya, attempting to remove the fire giants there who had themselves displaced the fire genasi who called this fortress home. Having just defeated the huge fire-breathing Rahir and securing its egg for your fire genasi companion, a Thorian Sember, you harvested elements of the dead beast for yourself, obtaining 3 bolts of hide and a few gem-like teeth. You then set out you then set out and into the ruins of the city proper, picking through flattened buildings and debris. Before long, you came across a fire giant searching through the ruins, and across from him, another patrolling the same block. You tried to sneak across, with many of you doing a very good job, but for 2 of you, this was just a little bit too difficult, and you attracted the fire giant's attention.
Clink, clink, clink.
You attempted to engage them in battle, but as one of them set themselves ablaze, dealing extra fire damage, and they pushed forwards, you found yourselves taking tremendous damage. Billy, you were downed and struck while already bleeding out on the ground. With your cloak catching fire, things were beginning to look very bleak. You did manage to make the one most important save that you had to prior to Cheshire bringing you back from the brink once more.
Thank you.
Minka, you became a panther, just taking off, following the plan, but you did return once you saw that your friends were in trouble. Cheshire, you saw 2 more fire giants. Twice. You saw 2 more fire giants approaching in the distance. After one of them blew a massive horn to alert them to all of your presence and approach, you managed to use spells to drift them off course, distracting them, making them believe that you were all traveling a different path. You managed, with Alina dealing massive damage off a critical Eldritch Blast, to drive 1 fire giant off. And with only 2 eyes on the group, you all managed to melt into the shadows, where now, as the burning fire giant with a massive warhammer bellows in the distance, and you hear huge thuds, which, followed by sounds of tumbling masonry, suggest that they are leveling building after building, searching for you. That is where we begin this evening. There is fire that is crackling across much of the area, and then off in the distance, as you look behind you in the place that you have all come from, many of you are crouching within broken masonry and in the shadows that have formed in these places. You feel pretty hidden. You can feel the of these fire giant footsteps, and then there is another loud yell and just shattering stone, but it's a little further away. At this moment, I believe Ori, who has a passive perception above 17. Oh, look at that. The three of you are relatively aware of where the individuals are, with the exception of Cheshire and Rez, who are both invisible.
Well, Rez is near me, though, so I just have a general idea of his presence.
He's flying. So, yeah, I mean...
He did tell you that he was going to stick with you.
Vague idea. He's above you. What are you all doing?
So, sorry, so who is together, and who are any of us together other than we know where each other are, basically?
The three of you, so Billy, Ori, Minka, the three of you are able to see each other through the ruins. You can kind of look around. Minka's very easy to see, bright blue, kind of like even in the shadows, glowing just a little bit. Ori is probably the hardest, but you are all just sort of in these different, almost like a triangular configuration. And you would imagine everybody is nearby as people have kind of run through. For the rest of you, you're alone in the ruins, in the city.
So
Chalk
Alina,
out drawing is like,
yeah, Alina is gonna telepathically reach out to her eyes and be like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, no. I'm hovering above Ori. He's just crouching there. Oh, he's peeking. He's crouching again.
Okay, thanks. Do you see anybody else?
Oh, yeah, no, I think Billy's over there. They don't look too good. And I see a panther, which I assume is Minka, because we haven't seen a whole lot of animals around here.
She blue.
And I would say kind of like a purple. I don't know. And then, yeah, that's what I see. Where are you?
I don't know. Where am I?
So if you like flop down and you look down, you look around, and for your amount of hidden right now, Rez can't see you. But if you just like step out and you wave or do any kind of thing, you can attract his attention and kind of figure out where you are. And through that, triangulate where Billy, Ori, and Minka are.
Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to try to pick my way over to where Ori is.
Okay.
And when I say pick, I mean like...
Make a stealth check.
Ding, 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 ding. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Off to a good start with a natural 1.
Okay. So...
Total of 3.
You plod your way through.
No, only in forests on the material
never
plane.
mind. You don't have advantage on stuff.
That's why you hear Hannah say, do we happen to be in this underwater place in a forest?
On the material plane.
So your total's 13.
Oh, passing that trace is still up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So
It
13.
lasts for an hour and I'm still
13.
concentrating
It's
on it.
13.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
It is helpful.
Oh, Vincent.
Welcome, Valis is here.
Hello. Just in time.
You're still wearing your...
So Valis, in the darkness, as you are kind of crouching in the ruins, you feel like you have all escaped. And then you hear clop, clop, clop. Just hooves on rubble. And
Which
then
is insane
scrape.
because I still can fly. I'm just like, I just forgot, I guess.
I mean, if you want to be flying, so you've used up one charge of fly. How long does it last?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Oh, yeah. So you still have that. No problem.
Okay.
So you can fly through.
Regardless, though.
As Alina is flying just above the rubble, it's hard to hide as you fly, I guess. And so, very visible. Valis, you see Alina just pronking in the air by, and then like up, and you follow Alina up and see Ori. Kind of not quite like a story up amongst some rubble.
I'm hiding more because I
Make a stealth
probably see Alina being very obvious, and I'm like, I'm fucking dying. Get away from me.
Make a stealth check.
Dirty 20.
So Alina, you are just like pronk up. You see Ori, who like seems to draw back to give you space, and as you pronk up, he's just not up there anymore.
Shit, okay. And then
Straight back.
Alina's like, right, because if I, and then she's just
right
gonna
here. Just you're being very obvious.
You have no idea. You just hear the voice.
Are you a ghost?
In the back of your mind, you hear, I lost him, Alina. I don't know where he went.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I
Just take a breath, all right?
look, I fucked up. Okay,
Yeah, so don't do it again. Just calm down. Cry.
Alina's gonna. Can I have a paper bag to breathe into? Maybe.
You take out a parchment bag and just open it up, no problem. For the rest of you, what are you doing in this dark space? You can hear this fire giant receding off into the distance, and after that horn blew, you know there are at least two in front of you, somewhere. Are you all trying to make your way forward towards this gate?
Are we together?
No.
We're a
The
bit
only
spread
people
out.
who are together are Alina and...
And one of them knows.
Some of them have like seen where the others are, but none of us are in the same place except for us.
Yeah. I know where Minka, Billy, and now I know where everyone is except for you and Cheshire.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't really, Oh,
There's a
actually,
rather
do I see
cartoonish
Valis?
Cheshire
Yeah, oh yeah, no.
Okay.
You definitely see and hear
building I'm
Valis. Everybody perceives Valis with all of their senses.
All right.
Billy is
Are you
trying
sure?
to.
Oh, actually, there's also.
But go ahead and make a stealth check now as
My
you
stealth
try to
is
hide.
also actually
At
a 30.
disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't have
It's
passive
plus 10,
though,
That's
yeah.
a 15
It's still plus 10 because Pat
and a 1. 11.
11. Oh, wait, you get to add your ability modifier. 11. Ooh.
Oh, thanks.
Luckily, similar to Alina, it seems as if a 11, a 12, a 13, things like that, enough apparently to stay hidden in this moment. Not from the rest of you. All the rest of you hear clang, 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 as Valis makes his way stealthily through the ruins.
Billy's gonna
some
try and like sneak her way like in and out of like destroyed buildings and like putting a little like bee mark on doors and whatnot to be like, I was here. I was here.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Make a stealth check.
Double 15s
Ooh, very
with 18. So 18 is my
Is that with the-
disadvantage.
Is that with the plus
Oh,
10?
28!
There you go.
Billy's actually stealthy! Billy's stealthy!
Just like that.
Someone remind me, did we say that we were going to meet just outside of here?
Yeah, we were going
That was
towards
the plan
the
before
gate.
we separated,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
we weren't
at
going to
the
meet.
far wall, you can see in the inner city where it becomes like the cavern wall essentially, and there's like one very obvious main gate that we are assuming will lead to the central shaft,
Okay.
based on this map, and then just looking, and it kind of goes down.
So when Cheshire was led two people on a goose chase,
They're somewhere over
are they
here.
over here-ish?
Yeah, they
Yeah, they're-
are somewhere off in this direction.
If I don't know where anyone is, I'd like to start making marks
Okay.
to denote that I'm heading in this direction.
Okay.
And then over here, I'm just gonna look for like a building that looks like I can long rest in and start taking a long rest.
Okay.
Classic Valis.
Make a stealth check. Or no, you already did.
Do you see
Great.
that
I
over
already
there?
have that 11.
What's he doing down there?
All of you hear Valis begin to clamber away, just through the ruins, off and away towards what looks like a very large building that might be used to rest in. I don't know. It's pretty large. But
Tell Rest to go.
Raz, can you go?
Minka, what are you doing?
So Minka would like to stalk Valis
Okay.
to make sure that he's not going to walk immediately into danger.
Okay, make a stealth check. It's easy to follow Valis. You don't need to roll to perceive him.
Yeah.
He is well perceived.
The most perceivable.
So that is a dirty 30.
Nice.
And then once, if she sees him go into the building, she's going to see if she can climb up the building and all to get like a vantage point. It's a little bit higher than ground level.
Okay.
Shay style.
As Valis is kind of like just bumbling his way through the street towards this larger building, if anybody was watching from the front, they would see Valis pass, and they might see just these two eyes that are stalking through the second stories of these buildings, leaping like a shadow from one to the other. But you would need to be very observant to do so. Cheshire, what are you doing?
Giants is absurd.
Still continuing along the trajectory I had been, but very much as I'm going, drawing.
Okay.
There are cartoonish Cheshire cat faces on all of the walls.
Okay. No
and
problem.
various other designs and whatever I feel like putting up there.
No problem. Silly faces, different words, the thing where you make like the little S that folds back in on itself, you know, lots of that stuff. Yeah, whatever you want to make. Make a stealth check. Are you trying to be hidden?
Yes.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Yeah. I'm sad that Minka doesn't currently have thumbs.
That's a natural 20 for
Can't use chalk. You don't have thumbs.
Very nice.
Well, you could probably kind of like wedge it between your toe beans.
I was like, oh, you could like use your mouth. But,
I would like to, because I'm kind of high up, right? Like, relatively speaking.
Yeah, you're like a story up.
Can I get up safely higher and get sort of an overview and see if I can see any more giants in the direction that we're heading?
Looking around, I mean, Dallas is heading towards the largest building, which is the tallest structure in the area, probably. It looks like at one point it may have been like a church or some other large civic building. There is what looks like not a tower as much as it might be like it looks like a steeple. I don't necessarily know that there are steeples here, but yeah.
But that's off to the left here, right?
Correct.
So, and we're trying to go here. So from where I am, which is roughly here, to across this way.
Yeah.
No visible giants.
Make a perception check.
Can I use for my eye for detail? For hidden creatures?
They're not.
I guess they're not hidden.
You've yet to find a fire giant who seems to be hiding in any meaningful way. Almost like they're aware that it's not the easiest thing to do. Like they've lived their whole lives as giants.
26.
With a 26, as you look out, you can see way off and like kind of even closer. And actually, now that you are looking, the dust has settled a little bit. Even though there's fire behind you, the smoke doesn't carry into your eyes, and you can see as the city descends down and into the area where it becomes like the place that you are presuming to be a gate into the central shaft. There are bits of movement. This is still so far away that you can't quite make anything out, but the fact that you can see it would indicate that it's a giant-sized figure of some kind.
I'm gonna... You see that down there?
Yeah.
There's more giants.
Okay.
You hear little bits of crumbling, and then looking off and to your left, you could see a building across like the sort of ruined alleyway. A Thorian is in the second story as well, kind of like matching your height and Alina's height. But they just kind of like wave over there.
Do they see us too?
Yeah.
Thorian sees us.
So, okay, we've looked at, so now the only person that we don't know where they are is Cheshire, right?
Yes, however, for anybody who sticks to this central path, if they glance off and to the right, there is bright pink chalk that is... There is no shortage of it. There's a lot of it. And so you are aware that Cheshire is passing in this direction.
She's following the plan.
I was gonna say, do we have to like decipher which way the chalk was going? Or
No,
is
I mean,
it pretty
you
confusing?
keep seeing it. Yeah, and there's so much of it that like really
But it's Cheshire. I don't know if like the meandering goes in a circle sometimes.
You lose it. You certainly lose it for times. There are times where you kind of like
distracted.
Yeah, you lose it. You see a place where it's like a face, and there's the eyes, and the start of a pupil, and then like a line goes away. Just like very distracted is Cheshire, but definitely moving in the right direction.
I think once Billy like comes across the pink, is just gonna like follow that.
So Alina, she's gonna be like, what do we do?
Well, we have to keep moving, so I would suggest that we stay high up, since they're probably looking for small creatures, and we'll be looking down.
Hey! From across the way, a Thorian tries to shout whisper, and he says, "Your friends are going away. They're moving in the wrong direction."
I'm gonna send Rez over to him so we don't have to shout whisper.
Okay.
And then to Ori, Alina's gonna be like, just hold on a second. And then
Does Alina drop on the floor? Because
Yeah,
I
because
think she's sat
try to
down.
make
She's sat down.
try to make a dex save.
No. She knows that Ori is not as well equipped to just catch her on a moment's notice.
It's pretty dexterous.
No, I know, but she would.
Comic relief.
She wouldn't. She would
Try it.
So you go into Rez's.
Yeah. And,
I probably
great work.
saved it.
And then, so Alina's gonna be like, "Hey, it's me, Alina. I mean, this is my familiar Rez. You might remember.
I remember how that
when we met. Okay. Yeah. So I think we're all just gonna try to move toward the gate. Just stick to the plan. So, me and Ori, we're over here. So we're just gonna move forward. You should do that too. And we'll all.
But they're going in the wrong direction.
What?
Your friends are going in the wrong direction.
How is that possible?
You can see
I'm going over here to find a place.
from like Rez's eyes, you can and Valis kind of looks around and waves their hand. They can't quite find Rez, but then they just go, look over here, and they look away from you and then point like past you. And if you follow the gaze, you can see and you can't hear him at this distance, but just the little back of Valis as they kind of fade off and like crest a hill and begin to approach this large building.
Okay, I mean, I guess it's not the right direction, like toward the gate, right? We said we were going to scatter and then go toward the gate.
If you say so.
Okay, well, look, do you want to move with us, me and Ori, or do you want to go it alone?
I'll follow you guys from a distance.
Okay, fine. See you when we see it, I guess. And then Alina goes back into her own body.
Okay.
All right. So did you tell Valis to not do what he's doing?
I'm gonna send Rez there right now. I just need to catch up with Thorian. I was talking to
He's
Thorian.
over there. Why do you need to catch up with him?
What do you mean? We don't need to be yelling. Stop.
I'm not yelling.
I'm saying that we don't want to yell across.
Well, no, I know, but we don't need to talk to him because we see where he is and he's competent.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. And so Alina's gonna be like, Rez, this is telepathic now, because
Yeah.
she's gonna be like, okay, as fast as you can, stay invisible.
Great.
Go catch up with Valis. Did you see where he went?
Yeah.
And tell him not to do. Tell him to.
When I said yeah, that was before. I have no idea where he is now. Yeah. So.
But I saw where he went, right?
I mean, Thorian pointed out where he kind of disappeared to. Yeah, you can definitely send Rez in that direction.
Right?
No. Now it's like a physical issue, like where you cannot see him because there's ruins in the way. And at this point, Valis, for you are reaching an area where there is this kind of larger building. There's debris that indicates that there was at one point like an exterior wall that was just flattened on the way in. You do see, at one point damaged but now repaired, what looks like a almost totemic kind of stone pillar. There are 7 or 8 of these faces that are carved out of stone that stack together rise up to a large stone tablet, and the tablet looks to be a carved map, and you can see elements that maybe had Ignan at one point. You see suggestions of these kind of letters, but those have been like scratched out of the stone, and you see what you recognize now, because nobody seems to be able to read it, as giant, taking much of that up.
So this seems to be when you said faces, giant faces.
Yes.
And it seems like a current map of the place, or an old map that they wrote over.
Hard to tell. But because, well, hang on.
Oh,
So soon.
I don't know.
No, he might have a visual of the map.
Yeah.
I have a visual. I just have to remember between the 2 weeks, because I had it for weeks.
And we
Just anticipate.
Oh, I don't know if he's bringing it out. He's just like,
No, he's just
for
checking
himself.
it. Well, in the meantime, I send Rez in the direction of Valis at least. That's how we're buttoning that up. There you go. Just go that way.
Go find him.
They're not regular Reese's. They've got Reese's Puffs.
no, those are
When you open
Reese's
that, it's like
peanut
you get
butter
smacked with a
bowls.
So what you see in front of you when I say a map is very much a, like,
Load shoes.
man, I drew out a whole cool map, and the reason that I didn't have that map was because I made a very cool giant map, and it took a lot more time. But I will find it for you. You do see that there is what looks like a map of the central shaft. This is arranged into kind of layers.
Got him.
Sorry?
Like an onion.
It's Hannah's fault.
Like
Not my fault.
You can see that there are multiple layers. It looks like in total there are 6 of them.
6 layers of central shaft.
6 layers of this, yeah. The way that it's shaped, it almost looks like think about Cloud City, right? That huge like floating city that is in
Bespin?
Star
yeah,
Wars.
Bespin, yeah, Star Wars. If you're not a Star Wars fan, you can think of it as the
Seattle Needle.
I don't know. I really don't know what the Seattle Needle looks like.
Oh, what about like Bioshock Infinite up in the clouds?
You can think of almost the shape of a top where there are parts that are wider and then it narrows and it gets wider. And it certainly seems to be at its widest in the 3rd level. At the moment, much as there is in like a map in a mall, you can see a small circle that is very pronounced near the 4th level. And that seems to indicate where you are at the moment. Beneath you, there is an area that is roughly analogous to where you are all coming from. It may be like the lava tube area. Yeah, kind of like that. The areas are a little, the regions are a little bit more rigid.
Rocky.
And all that is in the central shaft. So if we were to enter the central shaft from the inner city, we'd be on the 4th layer.
Correct.
4th layer from the bottom.
Yeah, so if you visualize it, it's probably like this is the core of the volcano, and showing you the different levels that split out, and different ones are indicated at different like widths, which probably something like that.
So it's going to be 1.
Like if you go.
Man, I really want my visual because it's
or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I assume it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's like this thing, right?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Except that it has more layers, and we're at the one that's the 4th.
Sure.
Yeah, but is it numbered from the bottom
This-
or numbered from the top?
4th
number
from the bottom. Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think.
As usual, Hannah and therefore Alina is going to rely on others with better ability to visualize spaces than she does.
yeah. I don't know where it went. Sorry, guys. I have this
No worries.
all set up, and I bet it's under this gigantic map. But yeah, we'll see.
Do you want me to help you lift the gigantic map?
No, not at all.
Okay.
That's
So-
private.
There is no precision to this. It gives you a general idea as to how large each layer is. And so you can see the largest of these is the 4th. The 2nd largest is the 3rd. The 3rd largest is the 5th. But you can't really read any of these. And so it kind of is hard to really,
Know what they are.
yeah.
It's kind of like that, though, right?
Yeah, very much like that.
Yeah.
I'll look around. Anything else around?
More
Anyone
layers.
else from my party since I've been making a lot
Make a
of
perception
noise?
check. So far, you seem to be pretty alone.
I do want to just send Rez off after him in that direction.
No worries.
And keep in like the eye in the sky position to see if he can find him.
Okay.
Do I still have eyes on Billy and Minka?
You have eyes on Minka, probably not Billy at this point.
Okay. Because Billy
10.
started to move, right?
Or no, sorry, not Minka at all. Definitely not Minka. You see, no. 10?
Yeah.
With a 10, that's kind of all you see. At the moment, it seems like you're pretty alone. Rez easily finds Valis. Billy, as you make your way through, there is probably a point where you do hear like Valis kind of moving off and to the left and moving a bit away from the gate, but still at least in that direction. Are you staying this kind of central path, or are you trying to deviate in any way?
Billy's been following Cheshire's marks.
Okay, cool. No worries. And that seems to be like central path to the right, slightly meandering, but generally going in that direction. Okay.
I think at this point, Minka would start scanning to see if there are any nearby sources of light to see, like, what you assume would be fire giants, since they tend
Sure,
to
make a perception check.
be large and vaguely glowing. That was not great. But my perception's pretty good. Total of 14.
14. You look around, and from what you can see, not so much. You do with your, as you're like kind of following Valis, I mean, you see the same kind of like totem pole that leads up to this map. You don't speak giant, right? So see pretty much the same stuff.
All right. If she doesn't see anything nearby, she's gonna hop down and make herself known to Valis,
Okay.
and then try to nudge him towards the gate.
Okay. So you do see something. It's a panther.
Oh, you in panther form?
Yeah, still a panther.
So are you Minka shows up, and you're pretty, I mean, you've seen Minka as animals before, and it's like a very different looking animal. It's like there are like stars that are inside the body, and so it's pretty obviously Minka, and they start like nudging you a little bit away from the structure that you were trying to establish a long rest in. What are you doing?
Oh, nudging me away? Which direction are you nudging me toward?
Closer to the main gate, so probably, since we don't have to let, probably more towards the right.
Has Rez caught up with them?
Yeah.
All right, so Alina's gonna say to Rez, just tell them that we're all gonna meet up at the gate.
Hey, Valis! And suddenly you just hear like out loud, and then he goes, "Oh, sorry. Hey, Valis, you're supposed to be going to the gate. What are you doing?"
No, be nicer than that.
Valis, can you please come to the gate? What are you doing?
I found this map and it might help. Can you tell, I don't know who else Alina is with, but can you tell them to come meet us at this map? Because it's a map.
In your
and it has
mind,
giant
you hear,
writing on it.
I was saying you gotta come here.
Why?
Because there's a map.
Why what?
He says, okay, so he caught up with Valis, and is anyone else there too? Because has Rez noticed Minka?
Yeah, now that Minka jumps down. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Rez caught up with Valis and Minka, and Valis says there's like a map. He found a map. Maybe we should go there.
Well, why doesn't he just take the map with him?
Good question. Why doesn't he just take the map with him?
Because it's carved into a huge rock.
That makes sense, because it's carved into a huge rock.
Can't he just like look at the map and figure out where he needs to go?
Hold on a second.
You just zoom into Rez's eyes, and you look, and right now he's like looking at Minka, who is just like a panther, and you feel
Just gonna kind of gently turn the head.
yeah, it's like a little bit of fear, but then you turn the head, and he looks, and you can see this map just kind of like looming up, everything that Valis is able to see.
So I'm gonna just, while I'm still like, without sight and hearing, I'm just gonna say out loud what I see.
Yep.
And since the two of them are there, then I'm gonna pop back in my own body and be like,
Can I accurately try to memorize what I'm being told about the description of this map with my
I'm not being super, I'm just like,
anything.
no, I'm basically just like, yep, it sure is a giant map
okay, I
carved
thought
into
you were
the
like
stone.
saying like, oh, there's
No,
like
no, so
And the way that your feature is worded, it's places that you've been.
yeah.
So
So I'm gonna pop back and be like, okay, it's as good a meeting spot as any, and it's a giant map, and I don't really know what I'm looking at.
Alright, but if it's a giant map, then that means that it's a place that giants can be, and that doesn't seem like a good place to be.
Were there any? Was it like on the side of a building, or you said
It was like
almost
right-
a map at a kiosk?
So there was this like exterior wall that was kind of leveled in, and then on the inside of that there was this kind of map stone. Elements have been kind of carved and worked into it since it was originally constructed. But yeah, I mean, it's mostly like when you walk into a mall, there's that big map that says "You are here."
Yeah.
It's like one of those.
Did it seem like there were any nooks or crannies where Valis and Minka could hide while the rest of the group catches up?
Yeah, there's a whole interior building that looks like it was some kind of like a church or gallery or some large thing.
So there's like hiding places there, and we all need to meet up at some point, so it might as well be at the big giant map that we can use to help us.
Alright, so how are we gonna tell Billy and...
Well, I'll send Rez to go find them.
Alright, and a Thorian who is...
He said he was going to follow us.
Billy, what's your perception check? Or what's your your
My
passive perception? Yeah. Okay.
Authorian said he was going to just follow us, so he's watching us.
And
Wait,
have you let them know about the giant that is over there?
Oh, right, yeah. Rez,
Yeah.
tell them that, and I Hannah forgets, but like, yeah, like,
Rez just goes, "Oh, Valis, just so you know, on the other side of these buildings, and like a little bit of ways in, I guess there's like some kind of movement, as a giant object, person, thing. Just so you know.
Okay.
Also, I guess you should hide.
Yeah, tell
Yeah, I
me.
was gonna say. Do you think that some other members of our party should look at this map and read it? Because I can't read it.
Make a
Be
look.
like,
Nod your
Rez, tell
head.
them
Looks up at it,
to
goes,
hide there, right where the map is, and Ori and I are gonna come to them. We're gonna try to get the whole group there. Just tell them to wait and hide.
I'm gonna find a building to hide in.
Cool. No worries. You go to hide. Val says, I think he's doing it, but he's not very good at it.
Yeah,
Make
I
stealth
know,
check.
but he's trying his hardest.
Minka's gonna
very
sniff
good.
around.
What?
Would she at this
Plus
point
10 still.
have a rough idea of what the fire giants smell like?
Ooh, that's pretty good.
You got some good numbies?
All right, because like it's closed, we can't see inside the building.
Sorry.
She's gonna like try to like sniff around.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Yeah.
23 to hide.
Okay.
No, not amazing. 15.
You don't find Valis. You kind of lose him as you circle around the building. You come back and he's gone. There is no fire giant smell. It seems like if they have been here, it's not recently. And yeah, that's pretty much all that you perceive.
Would this amount of time just sitting up here watching everything constitute a short rest?
No,
Okay.
definitely not.
It's been like 4 minutes.
It's been like 4 minutes, and also, yeah, no, definitely not.
I'm bleeding out here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Minka's gonna try to
Yeah,
walk
what?
through a window.
Tell them to meet up quickly, because the more time we spent apart, the more likely that we'll get found and be in danger.
Alina, I mean, I was trying to be nice to this guy, but he said, hurry up.
Pretty much.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, but he's hidden. They're both hidden.
I think so.
Okay. Okay. Next big job for you. Can you please see if you can find Billy, and Cheshire too, but like Billy, obviously. Because like she's my bestie. Anyway. And just see if you can find her, and when you do, just tell her where we are and let me know, and just you're the guy.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Up into the air.
He's the
Rez looks for a little while, but has no idea where Billy is. Real low perception check from Rez.
buddy.
Billy, as you are making your way through, and Cheshire, as you are making your way through, you do approach the gates much quicker than the rest of the party, as they are generally going off into one direction. So let's start there. 1 second. Cheshire. As you get closer to the gate, there's an area where you reach a relatively intact road, where many of the buildings still stand, although there is some damage here and there. You can see walls, and there's even a building here that has a roof. Most of the roofs, though, have been removed entirely, perhaps during the invasion. Make a perception check, Cheshire. You're the first person that kind of arrives.
17.
17. There's a lot of debris that is in the roads here, and though the buildings are intact, there hasn't been a lot of effort to clear them as there has been in many of the other parts of the city. This tells you that perhaps the fire giants don't spend a lot of time here. Make a sense motive check.
Insight.
Insight. Dang, 2 different systems.
We all knew what you meant.
Yeah.
They're
16.
interchangeable.
16? Yeah. Billy, as you approach, there is a moment where you stop kind of seeing Cheshire-like things. Make a perception check.
Ooh. 24.
Okay. And it's because that Cheshire has kind of stopped to work on a particularly large piece of chalk drawing, because it is, though it looks kind of like a monster, you're pretty sure it's Ori.
It's actually caricatures of all the party members, but Ori in particular looks very monstrous.
Yeah.
It's almost vaguely has the shape of a cow. There's horns.
Yeah, very much. There's bovine features to it.
So for some reason, yeah.
Yeah. But you see Cheshire. You see beyond Cheshire this street where things are a little bit more orderly in the sides and messy in the middle. And then beyond that, both of you are suddenly aware of this shift of movement as this individual, or perhaps more than one individual, shift off and in the distance in the direction of the gate. And you can see now where the wall rises up, and there's a huge door, less a door and more like a place where the wall just stops. And then all the way up to the ceiling, there's this huge kind of chasm that beyond you do see low light kind of emanating from. And you can see there are like very marked changes in the shape of the stone, but through this narrow gap, you can't see too much. You see movement. You don't quite see what it is, but this is a huge shape, perhaps even larger than the ones that you've seen so far.
Billy, like, kind of, like, sidesteps up to Cheshire and it's just like, hey, what took you so long? Your drawings kind of went in a squiggle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What is that?
What's that? What's this? Because this is my masterpiece.
Oh, no, that clearly, but what's in there?
Something big.
How'd you get here? Like this spot?
Oh. I walked.
Can you see the string still?
Make a perception check.
19?
As you look around and Billy asks, can you see the strings? And you focus your eyes in, you're kind of like letting them go cross-eyed as you were like drawing Ori because you really wanted to get the horns to get that kind of angular look. But as you focus your vision more, you do see a single string. This one, sickly green looking, almost like it is dripping, like there is slime running down it. And it is coming from Billy. And you see it almost like Billy is a puppet, and there is something that is attached to her back, and it goes up and up and up about 6 feet away, where it vanishes into what almost looks like an orb. And then that disappears. And there is no more strings.
What?
You might need to get that checked out.
What?
Thing.
Billy like feels her back.
You reach behind you and you don't feel anything. But like looking back and looking at Cheshire, there is something about Cheshire's face that it's so open and honest that almost reflexively you don't trust it, because like you've seen what Cheshire does. Cheshire's pretty chaotic. But you know how when a little kid tells you they see something in the kitchen and you look and there's nothing, but you look back at them and they see something? Cheshire's looking at something, but there's nothing there.
Do you know what they are? I know this isn't really the space to ask that.
Everybody had one at one point, but not like that. That was... Ew.
What'd it look like?
Ew.
Boogies.
Cooties.
You just see them sometime?
Well,
Are they
not all the time, but most of the time.
are they usually helpful?
Yes. They helped me find my book that Alina lost.
I apologize.
Nice, I didn't lose that. Did have it last.
Billy looks a little worried because if Cheshire hasn't seen one like this and it looks ew, that's probably bad.
Doesn't sound good.
If you see it again, that one, would you tell me? Thanks.
Because I don't know if you need a bath or something, but you know,
You don't smell great.
Everything smells like rotten eggs in here. It's hard to tell.
Metaphysical bath.
For the rest of you, you can eventually reach the place where Valis and Minka hide. You see Minka before you were able to see Valis, because Minka is like going around in circles and looking for something. Valis, you hear the group approach. Really, Yeah, I would say you do. You're pretty well hidden for once.
Where are we hiding right now?
So within this kind of courtyard, there's like the shell of a building, and there's lots of ruins and elements of like fallen chairs. You can kind of hide anywhere amongst those. If you want to find a different place to hide, you can do so as well, but you'd be moving further away.
I was just wondering what type of buildings these are, because this place was promptly abandoned in case there's anything that's left behind that we might be able to use. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that as we traverse the city. But
Okay.
as they approach, then I'll just say, hey.
It takes a second, but Phallus is hiding. Yeah.
God, good job.
And in the back of your mind, you hear, I don't know if Chester and Billy are still with us. We might have to move on.
Can any of you read
None of us can read.
the map?
We've been through this. None of us read giant.
At this
We
point,
need to keep going.
Billy was here. I mean, Billy's comprehend language probably is long gone at this point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's virtual, right? You can just kind of.
But I'm also not there.
But it takes time. Yeah, like, I mean, I have it too, but it's okay. Well, if we have like 10 minutes, I could cast a spell, but I don't know if we have 10 minutes.
Minka's gonna just like do like
been faffing about
the
still.
anxiety pace around everyone.
Nice.
That is 100% heightening Alina's already very high anxiety level.
We have two options.
We really only have one.
You want to
Because
listen to
half
them
of our
first?
party has
Because
already
then I'll tell you
left.
about the other one.
Alright, fine, but we're wasting time.
We can start going to the central shaft. That's the map. It looks like it's written giant what the places are. We can just roam and try to find the place. Or we can try to spend... Do you need time to cast a spell to help you
Yeah,
read it?
I need like 10 minutes.
We
Or
can spend-
actually, hold on. You know what? Hold on. I just remembered I don't have to cast it ritually. I can just cast it.
We can
just burn a spell slot.
I don't even care.
For 1/3 of my spell slots.
Look, just okay. I can do it in a second, okay? And so she's gonna use her Rod of the Pack Keeper to get a spell slot
go.
back,
Great.
and then she's gonna cast Comprehend Languages. Look at the map.
No problem. So casting Comprehend Languages and
Rod of
looking
the
at
Pack
the map.
Keeper. This better be good.
Layer number 1, or sorry, let's start at the bottom. Layer number 6, the smallest of them is the Feydark Outpost.
By the way, are these written in giant or so everything you're about to read is in giant?
Correct.
Thank you.
The 5th one is called the Churn Scald. You can see in parentheses it says lava tubes. The 4th one reads Commerce Area - Main Gate. This is the one that has that circle near it.
Just to make sure, are you numbering them one from the bottom or from the top?
From the bottom up is how I'm going. Yeah.
Okay.
So Commerce Area was that one. That's the one that has a circle on it and is probably the area or level that you are on. There is the living area next. And then the second to last area is the treasury. At the very tippity top, almost the very top of the map, it reads Chambers of the Char-Hearted King.
What was one again?
Feydark Outpost.
How do you spell that?
F-E-Y. Dark. Sorry.
And as she's like reading it out, she's like, "Does anyone have like, paper or whatever that we can like jot this down real quick?"
Can I just mental picture of the map?
Can
No,
Jan?
So you don't know it, but Ori knows the map.
Okay.
Althorian takes out some parchment and will hand it over to whoever wants it, just kind of like gesturing out to all of you.
Alina will, as she's like reading it, will like write it down and
No
comment.
problem. I'll find the map at break.
Cool.
You have that now.
All right. And so,
Alright. Thank you.
Yeah, kind of.
no problem.
Let's.
Very rudimentary
Yeah.
version, but
So I guess let's try to sneak away and follow the chalk signs and find the other two.
Yeah, I mean, Rez said that he couldn't find them. So, Rez,
they're
just go to
probably
the
going
main gate.
towards the place
Because
that
they're
we
stay
said that
invisible.
we should meet up when we made
Begins
the
to
plan initially, instead of wandering around and looking at maps.
We found a map, okay?
Right.
Minka's just gonna stalk off towards the main gate.
You watch as the panther disappears off and into the dark.
I'm gonna sneak.
Yeah.
I'm also going to sneak in
Make a stealth check.
As will I.
Everybody but Billy and Cheshire make a stealth check as you begin to approach the main gate.
Passing without trace still?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. It's not been an hour.
It's coming. It's getting close, though.
Yeah. I'm assuming by the time we get there, it's going to be gone.
Yeah, for sure.
Poor baby.
What was your check?
12.
Okay.
With
Matt?
pass without trace.
Hang on.
Disadvantage.
With pass without trace.
How long does it take to dock? Split.
10 minutes, I think.
31.
Then you'll
31. Very nice.
27.
Okay. So as a group, as you begin to approach, the main gate, you are very quiet. Billy and Cheshire, you do not hear them approach, but after close to 10 minutes, if you are like kind of hanging out and observing this gate, waiting for the rest of the party to show up, Valis is the person who, again, you hear just very faintly this, and then you hear this kind
Valis is coming.
yeah, absolutely, you hear Valis coming.
I think after 5 minutes, Cheshire would start like shaking almost.
Okay.
Give her a job to do.
What if you added horns here? Billy is gonna try and like keep Cheshire focused on like completing the masterwork.
Fantastic. So as you create this masterpiece, eventually you do see probably about maybe 80 feet away across this area. So there are like buildings between you and the space. You can see Valis. And then if the rest of you want to make yourselves known to the rest of the group, you can. But before too long, Rez tells you, wait, there's chalk everywhere. I see Ori because of the, oh, hang on. And like Rez flies down and begins to follow like the mural and then eventually makes their way over to where Billy and Cheshire are.
Okay. Alina, as soon as she sees Billy, still with the anxiety levels massively high. I mean, this place is so big and she's so small. She thought Billy might have been dead. She sees Billy and she just flings herself into Billy's arms and just gives her like a giant, like huge, very long hug.
The ribs are still broken.
I don't care.
More into the shadows
Okay.
and avoid this. And is Athorian? Do I see
Slightly
Athorian?
Yeah. Yeah.
Armor much too big.
Minka's gonna do the thing where she just theoretically just appears next to everyone sitting like she's been there the whole time,
Sure.
but just observing the mural.
No problem. So it's like the camera comes across like this, and you see all the people, and then it like zooms out, and Minka's on the other end. Wasn't there before.
Can you give a quick play-by-play of what each character looks like?
Well, Valis, we've already determined, very cartoony, and the armor is much too big.
Triangle.
It's like-
body.
Yeah. Ori is very monstrous and slightly cow-like.
Ori probably glanced and was like, I'm not even gonna look at this fucking thing.
Minka is more star than person. Alina is very grumpy. And Billy almost looks like Alina's twin, but instead of grumpy, just kind of sour.
Are you drawing yourself?
Oh, yes.
What do you look like?
Obviously the star of the show. And
I thought that was Mika.
no.
A star.
A star in the show.
It's a star versus the star.
Very like the Cheshire cat face, but like in a human form, if you will. Smiling, laughing, causing much joy and everything to wherever she goes.
Also, probably the best rendered figure of the whole mural.
It's like draw the. Oh, never mind. It's like the picture of the horse.
Yeah.
The different. Yeah.
Ori's the butt.
Actually, Ori's the middle. Nothing going on there.
Oh no.
All right.
But with horns.
Okay. So do we all see the gate now, and then there's like another like narrow passage? Where is it? So we see this gate here, right?
No. So, as you are all kind of arriving, there's a space where like the kind of natural stone caverns close in and form like a gap. That is maybe close to like 300 feet away. And that is where you imagine the central shaft to be. There's light coming out of there. A little bit closer to that, the geography pinches in again a little bit, and you can see the tallest structures in this area are what are like at one point maybe it was just a huge gate. You just see now like two large spikes of stone that were like towers or archways. If you think of the Jurassic Park gate, these are like the two big stone parts on the sides. And there are some ruins between those two things. And that is kind of where those of you who did see movement saw movement before. At the moment, you don't see anything.
There's somebody there.
But Cheshire does.
Well, maybe not anymore, but is there?
What'd you see?
Something big went in.
Like a giant?
Well, yeah.
Like bigger than a giant, though.
Oh, good catch, Cheshire.
Like a giant?
Hey, also,
That's dumb.
Are you
It's
okay?
actually not, because a giant would
feel like
most
you should ask
likely
your
be the
friend
leader. Based
I'm
on
like
what-
still hugging Dylan.
No, I know she's okay. Are you okay? It's just, we didn't see you. I thought maybe you got squished.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh, sorry.
So,
I am squished.
Pat. Ow.
any sign of a one-eared giant?
As you currently see no giants, you see that many ears as well.
oh, there's an ear on the
know
ground.
you're
There's a giant ear on the ground. That's a sign of a one-eared
None-eared.
giant somewhere.
Go ahead, Ori. Go try it out. See what's there.
Hold on. Question for everyone. Should we rest or are we ready to go on?
I feel a little exposed.
We should find... We could find somewhere to hide and rest. Because that last fight took a lot out of us. What were you gonna say?
But I was just gonna say, once Billy like is extricated from the Alina crush of death, she's gonna like go over to the crack and kind of like attempt to peer in and see if she can get a better view.
Make a perception check.
The crack of blood?
Your butt.
Got him. It's the space between. It's not a crack. I mean, it's a crack, but the crack is like 20 feet wide. It's a large space between the stones.
Not a butt crack.
22.
Well,
I mean, it depends
be,
on how
yeah.
big the butt is.
Yeah, but, oh no,
22?
the mountain has a butt.
With the 22 is you look through maybe 100 feet beyond, not like a gate. These are certainly two towers, most of which are ruined. There are bits of building beyond, and you don't see a giant. You don't see anything like that, but you do hear. And you don't have comprehend languages up at this moment, correct?
Correct.
So you hear Arbiter Til Ayor by Hajil. And then it just echoes a little bit. And you hear it. The rest of you kind of hear this rumble, more the vibrations than the words.
Can we tell that someone's speaking?
If Billy tells you.
Does it sound like the phrases I've heard in Giant?
Yeah.
So it like fits the language.
Oh yeah, also I tried out that spell that you like. Just FYI, I don't know if that's relevant to you, but
Yeah.
comprehend all.
Oh, you have that?
Yeah, I used to
come over
look
here.
at the map.
Shh.
Okay.
And Billy like calls Alita's attention to the words.
You call Alina's attention to the words, but it's gone quiet.
Shit.
You hear these two footsteps, and so that there's something here beyond the space.
Are we hiding right now? As a group? I just want to make sure
As a
we're
group,
not.
you've made yourselves aware of each other, but you are hiding. Yes.
Okay.
We're so little.
Do we want to rest or do you want to press on? Does anyone here need to rest or should we press
Beyond the towers, maybe like a further like 50, 60 feet, that's where you can see these two gleaming like bits of brass that indicate the sides of the entrance to the central pillar. And there you can see not just a dull glow, but at first you thought maybe there was more of this magma kind of pouring down the sides. There is the sort of shift of movement, and maybe it's that light, but then you realize it's because there are huge, massive platforms of stone that are just slowly shifting up and up and up and up, and then you see them just back down. Almost like steps that rise and rise and rise and then sink back to the ground. And they're massive. Each one seems to be something like 40 feet long, maybe that distance wide again.
That seems really dangerous.
while this is happening, I'm probably just quietly trying to take a short rest.
Okay, yeah, you begin a short rest.
Sorry.
I'm also
Wait,
gonna be in taking
so-
a short rest.
So you do think should we rest? It seems like you're already should we?
What are you talking
A bunch of people are now starting to sit down.
to go.
Are we? Should we get in someplace a little more covered if we're gonna
Are
rest?
we-
They're looking for us.
Aren't we hidden right now?
You're like pretty hidden in the fact, like, so if you were playing hide and seek, you're hidden. You probably don't want to take that level of hidden if you're going to rest for a significant amount of time.
Should we find a different place to hide? That's a little bit harder to.
I just need to catch my breath.
I know. Just let's get to a place where it's like slightly safer to do that. Are there any buildings around?
If you guys just want to backtrack like 10 minutes back to where you were, that was a pretty safe space. That's probably, I mean, when Minka was a panther, they didn't sense any kind of giant, and that is kind of the first place.
Okay, come on, Ori. And Alina's gonna start walking back there.
All right.
We found a good place to hide. There's also a map there. We should go back and hide, rest for a little bit, and then we'll. And while we do that, can you send Rez to go ahead and take a look at what's beyond there?
Yeah, Rez, you good with that?
Yeah, no, I can do it.
Okay.
All right.
Flies forwards.
Okay. Does anyone object?
So boring.
There's probably a bunch of blank walls inside.
Wow.
Cheshire, are you any good at reading maps?
No.
Cheshire, do you need to rest? Won't you feel free to like go about the city, maybe find some stuff
That's a
to
bad
your
idea.
taste, just stay safe and come back after an hour.
That's a bad idea.
Skip.
Why would you tell her to do that?
So
rest of you
I've
do-
decided that Alina, because Ori is like an EP boy, I think Alina has like done the thing, you know, with the arm. And as they're walking, once Cheshire has like gone off, Alina's gonna be like, look, if she gets herself killed, that's one less problem for you, right? Just to try and calm him down.
Rez flies off. And in the back of your mind, you can hear him just go, Alina, I think you want to see this.
Okay. Wait, no. I forgot.
Just quietly into the rubble. And like anybody else just turns around and the three of them are just collapsed. Alina, stop.
And then Alina just says out loud, sorry.
Billy's just like, I think there's.
Oh,
I don't have
man.
any unbroken ribs left.
I'll go help them out.
No problem. So you zoom over into Rez's view. Rez is flying high above this almost not alleyway, like an avenue that leads to this gateway. And you can see there is a tremendous fire giant, but more impressive than that, and what really made them seem larger, is that they are sitting astride a Tyrannosaurus Rex. In its mouth, there is this contraption that kind of seals the teeth shut, but you can see these areas that are designed to snap away. It has almost these bridles in it, and then attached to the sort of harness that is around this Tyrannosaurus Rex, you see these chains that lead to three medium-sized individuals. You can see a human, perhaps an elf, and then certainly a tiefling from the horns that you can see protruding from the head. They are chained to this Tyrannosaurus Rex. And you can see the fire giant, or I guess Rez sees the fire giant, kind of yank at one of the chains, and one of these guys just goes flat down in the sand. But yeah, seems to be kind of waiting and perhaps guarding the space. Hard to tell.
Wait, so the giant is riding a T-Rex.
Yeah.
And then there's three people
Humanoids.
chained also to the T-Rex.
Correct.
And they're standing on the ground.
Correct.
In front of the T-Rex.
Correct.
Okay, so are they doing anything, the humanoids? Or
At the moment, one of them is on the ground, flattened, and
Well-
they're slowly peeling themselves up, and they look kind of pissed. The others look terrified, and the one that looks kind of pissed, the tiefling, and like they get up, and at this distance, Rez can't hear what's happening, but there seems to be like words that are being exchanged.
I'm
The
gonna
fire
have
giant
Rez-
again like takes the chain and this is a huge chain. Each link probably like almost the size of you. The chain, you see like the wave go down the length, and it just whips this person up. You see it snap, and they go into the air, and they are slammed into the ground. And you hear just barely this in the distance, and then rumbles of laughter. And that person does not get up again. And you watch as the fire giant just goes and unhinges this chain and just drops it off from the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I'm gonna have Rez get closer.
Okay. You hear in the back of your mind, I don't like this, but he does get closer. You see the fire giant turns to all these individuals, and you still have comprehend language up?
Yeah.
You hear they say, "Turn your back on Gorojut and die." And you can see they like yank the chains. The other two fall into the ground, but they don't say anything. They like drag themselves back up. Eyes cast down. You can see they're wearing like very, very simple, almost like tunic attire, rags essentially, bleeding hands, bleeding feet, covered in dust.
Jesus Christ. All right. So Elena's gonna be like, Rez, good job. I'll be right back. And then
Can I go back up?
Yeah,
I'm going back.
Yeah, no, this is fine. So Alina's gonna pop back to her body and report what she's seen, and she's like, they're like captives, I guess. I can't really tell what is going on, but we have to help them.
What is that all you say, or do you say?
No, I report everything I saw, and then the it's like, you know, it fades out like a fade to suede, and then it comes back on Alina finishing the story of what she's seen.
How many fire giants were there?
Does that word mean anything?
How many fire giants were there?
Just one.
Just the one, right? Yeah.
And the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Did he have a horn?
What was the word? Like, don't follow Gortashan?
Don't turn your back on Gortashan.
Or die.
Gorojut.
Gorjut. I'm assuming it's a name.
Is Gorjut someone? It's giant?
Yeah, probably.
What did you ask about? Oh, did he have a horn? Yeah.
So, like, looking through, they don't seem to have a horn. They seem to have, like, they actually wear less armor than the previous ones that you fought. They look almost like bare-chested, save for this huge belt that rises up above their belly button. They have huge bracers, and not just attached to the Tyrannosaurus. You can see they actually have chains wrapped around their arms. This individual also has like smaller cages attached to them, but currently empty. They seem to be very much in the business of capturing individuals about your size.
We have to help those people.
Okay, Athorian. I think they mentioned a T-Rex. Is that something that you could help? I know you mentioned, like, if we encountered...
You mean like a dinosaur?
Yeah, like a dinosaur.
Here?
Yeah, you know, they were introduced in Tomb of Annihilation.
That's very strange. I've never interacted with a dinosaur, but I could try.
I don't think any of us should try to interact with this dinosaur.
We need to rest
That's
first.
being ridden by a giant.
Alright, should we rest first and then try to get through it?
We need to
if
rest.
you said that
you
there's
guys
people
didn't see
who are
it.
in
It was
trouble,
horrible.
Then if we rest, they're probably not going to make it. We either need to rescue these people or rest. You can't have both.
I don't know what to do. It was horrible.
Okay. We should help those people. If not us, then no one else.
Who's going to help us?
I mean, it just kind of like wiggles a little bit as a panther goes like.
What? Valis, can you do the spell thing where you can talk to animals? Because this is ridiculous.
Minka's gonna drop the panther.
Never
And just be
mind.
like, trying to hold on to it. We're gonna be sneaky. But
All these like billowy garments come out in place of the panther.
I can heal us all now, and then we can go help those people.
How are we going to help them?
Cheshire, are you still around?
We can't even take out one giant without all nearly dying.
They're
How are we
keeping
going to take out a
slaves or
giant with a
something.
Tyrannosaurus Rex? As much as I'd like to help these people, I don't think it's something that we can really do or afford to do right now.
How big was the Tyrannosaurus Rex? Probably pretty big.
It was massive.
About the size of a fire giant?
Almost larger than the fire giant, but yeah, they're equivalent sizes. Yeah.
Do I know anything about Tyrannosaurus Rexes?
Make a history check or make a nature check. Sorry.
Ooh. Ooh.
Maybe. baby.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I used to ride a baby one. At the petting zoo.
Nature or history?
This would be either, I guess, really.
Let's see. Well, history's a little bit better, so I'll go with 23 history.
Okay. There are no dinosaurs really in the Feywild. I mean, there might be, strange kind of variants, but dinosaurs like what is being described, that's something that really only exists in two places. There's a place in Dominion that is sort of this like
Monster Island.
Yeah, Monster Island. Not that you would know exactly the name, but off the west coast, there's a place where there are huge animals. You also know that north of Everest, in a place called Gath, there is all kinds of large lizards or dragons. And that's a place that they come from.
Could.
Look, okay. Ori has a point. I'm sorry. I'm stressed out. I know we can't do much to help anybody if we're not, equipped to do so.
Or alive.
Yeah.
Pinka, do you still have magic available to turn something into a different thing?
I didn't bring that today.
Okay.
I brought the ability to move stone.
That's good. There's a lot of stone around.
Yeah, it was.
Thorian kind of stands up, and at this point, he's going to say, well, if we're not going to help those folks stay alive, then I'm going to make sure that we do. And he climbs up and begins to make his way towards the highest point in this structure to keep watch.
Okay, that was a really good line, I admit. Alina is gonna hand her ring to Billy and pop inside it
Okay.
All right.
and have a good cry.
So we'll short rest.
Short rested yet?
I would say at this point, you're pretty close. You finish your short rest before everybody else, then Valis finishes, and then everybody else will. Give me just 1 second. About halfway through, Alina, in your ring as you are resting, in the back of your mind, you can just hear. Well, actually, interesting question. Does Rez stay out when you are in the ring? Very cool. So you hear Rez in your mind just say, Alina, there's another one coming.
Like a dinosaur?
No. It's that same guy. He's limping. The fire giant that you guys beat up?
Oh, yeah, that one. He's coming, towards us here in this building?
No. Towards the other fire giant. I'm still watching him.
Okay, you're doing really good.
He's giving the chains to the one that's hurt. And now he's leading those people away. But the guy with the Tyrannosaurus, he's still standing there. I think he's guarding the gate.
Okay, but he stopped, flinging the people around on the chains?
I mean, how much do you want me to tell you?
Oh, God. Go on, tell me everything.
Well, after he fed the dead one to the Tyrannosaurus, then the other two are still alive. He just kind of jerked them around a little bit, but then he gave them to that guy, and now he's dragging them away. Hang on. Actually, make a perception check for us.
Okay.
Think they're going to have dinner?
10.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have a nice dinner. No, they're going to some kind of a... There's a cluster of buildings in the distance that are still kind of intact, and then they're going there. I don't know what it is, though. I can't see anything.
Okay, just... Thanks, Rez. Good job.
Okay.
Alina's just gonna finish up her cry inside her ring and finish up her rest and then
No problem.
pop out again and report out.
All of you can mark off a short rest. You can take any hit points or hit dice or anything that you want to do during that time. Or since you get a bonus 20 minutes at the beginning, is there anything you're doing at that time?
I would probably want to go up to where Thorian is keeping watch and try to get a good vantage there as well.
So we'll get back there in a second. Cheshire, you walk off into the city. What are you doing?
Taking in the sights, seeing what's available, what's at my disposal, what's here.
Okay. So, as you begin to walk through, oops, that's the wrong one.
I was going to say that's like a very wonderful time.
Yes, it is. Hi, I didn't see you there. You walk around the corner, and it's a whole building of soft stuff. It's really nice. Welcome to my soft place. So, in particular, is there anything that you are looking for, like, or are you just looking around?
I mean, anything that catches her eye, shiny things always, but like things that I can use.
A warehouse of koosh balls.
Make a perception check.
16.
As you walk around, you pick your way through rubble and stone, and you've seen, again, much of the road has been swept clean. And as you're looking through, you're seeing a few other patterns. There are still elements of like wood that have been left behind. You see old crates and old barrels, but even the barrels have the metal bands stripped away. There is almost markedly no shiny things, as if the metal has been removed and repurposed for something else. You don't really find a whole lot aside from debris and the occasional kind of like threadbare garment that's left over, generally attached to remains. But these are so old at this point that it's really just bone and hair.
Finish my walk and make my way back in the allotted time.
No worries.
Very disappointed.
So all of you come back to finishing your short rests and your various tasks. Or you make a perception check as you were up there just over the course of this watch.
At the end of her short rest, Billy's going to...
Do you use shield?
Okay.
I can, yeah.
Oh.
Because I found that shield. I have this extra shield if you want to use it.
Oh. I'm gonna double check a roll, and then I'm gonna see if I can take that shield.
Is it a druid wood thing?
It burns up.
No, it's her star map. I need to check, see how long it takes to designate a star map.
We were bickering in the car on the way home last week about whether she could or couldn't use a metal shield.
In the meantime, for all of you, as you are coming to, I would say, Ori, the only thing of note that you really see at one point is this flicker of movement as a huge shape passes off far to the right where you guys are all standing. You can't really see through that gap, but you do see shadows kind of flicker off in that direction.
The direction where we had been told about the fire giant on the T-Rex.
Yeah, and so it kind of tracks that one. You see like the flicker, one is like joined this other fire giant, and then you see the flicker again. That person has left.
So basically just saw the movement of the person coming in and out.
Yeah.
As Alina pops out of her ring, her weeping frustration has been replaced with righteous indignation, and she's like, "Okay, is everybody ready to go free those people and exact revenge on these monsters?"
I love your spirit.
Thank you.
Did you say the people were in no longer at the gate? They were in a cluster of buildings.
Yeah. Rez said they got led away. So I bet there's more, because that guy had cages. So I bet there's more people than just those two.
Okay. Then
I think. Wait, what? We're losing sight of what we're here for.
A bracelet? That's what we're here for.
No. But we're not going to be able to do anything again to help those people if we're dead. Charging in against a fire giant who now has a Tyrannosaurus Rex as well as knowledge that we are in their city now.
We don't have to charge in. I don't believe that you think that we should just leave those people to their fate.
Of course I don't. But what do you think we should do?
I don't know. Let's talk about it.
We've faced 3-4 fire giants already, and each time some of us have nearly died. Multiple
but each time
of
we've
us.
won.
I wouldn't call the
Thorian's
last
going
thing
to
a
say,
victory.
While you guys argue about this again, I'm going to go and try to see what's happening and maybe make a plan with some more information.
I'll come with you.
All right.
During
Go ahead.
during the 1 hour rest, having offered a shield, Minka's gonna take her staff, take the stone off the top of the staff, and then essentially remake her star map from her staff into something that she can either a necklace that she can wear on her body instead of have to carry.
Okay.
So she could take the shield and
problem.
leave the staff behind.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. And you have all the prerequisite materials that you need for that. No problem.
And then
It's a +1 shield.
thank you.
Go. It has my crest on it.
So Athorian is going, Billy is going, who else is going?
Like, we're just moving?
He's going to go. He said that while you guys argue, he is going to go and find some more information to make a plan.
They're doing recon.
Further ahead? Well, I don't want to do that. I'm a rogue. But I never get to do that.
He turns and he says, I just want to make this really clear. My expectation is that you could all follow me and we could just be moving ahead. And we don't actually have to charge in, sort of like you said, but we don't know what we're dealing with, and we're not going to learn anything else
What
while we're
I
sitting
was
here.
saying. Yes.
This is what I would suggest.
He walks forward.
Billy follows.
The outpost
Make a stealth check,
Also
Billy.
walking
Make a stealth check order.
that these walk into and see if we can help those people.
Okay, I guess we're all.
Val, you've been talking, and as you go around talking, there's fewer and fewer people in the
Oh,
group.
very good.
Come on. Yeah.
No more pass without trace.
No, it will only last an
it
hour
would've run
anyway.
out.
So
17.
it's,
All right. I guess we're all going.
Billy?
9.
Nice. Florian's clocking in at 21.
Oh, I don't want to roll.
I rolled a 9, so you're in good company this time.
Yeah, no, 17.
Okay.
10.
2.
7.
Oh boy. Yikes.
Well,
Is Chesh coming?
We're gonna need some visual perspective.
yeah. You rejoined maybe 30 minutes prior to this happening. Easy to do.
I'll just get this ready for the visual perspective.
Everybody have your backup character ready.
26.
So you all begin to make your way forward. The righteous
Indignation.
The righteous
the righteous indignation really not lending itself to a stealthy approach. As you clod through this space and the rest of you make your way through, it is louder than you would like. But you make your way along. You do see an area where the stone walls kind of pinch in. There are 2 towers that are almost nestled by that, very much destroyed now. And between you and this space, there is this little element of a stone monument almost. And then beyond that, you can see on the back of this Tyrannosaurus, kind of leading it, almost pacing back and forth, this fire giant. Almost wrapped in its own chains. And then beyond that, now a much clearer picture, you can see these stones kind of rising up and then falling and then rising up, and you can hear the stone grinding and this of steam as it's let off. This seems to be almost like pneumatic stairs. Huge pneumatic stairs that are about 40 feet long, but stairs nonetheless.
That's behind him.
Yeah.
Past where he's guarding.
Past where he's guarding through this kind of almost like bronze or brass gate.
And when you mentioned that the others were dragged away to a building, is it behind him or towards us?
With some visual perspective. would be helpful.
Yeah.
There it is.
Let's pull that out and then we can go to break it.
There it is.
There it is.
Well,
He had to dangle fucking slaves in front of him.
Not even slaves, just captive food sources.
Yeah.
He whipped like this. I was when he
know.
said he's going like this. That's what we do with
maybe
our
it's
dogs.
like a carnival game or something. Yeah, Alma probably likes that, right?
We think it's very funny to go yeah. Just,
Oh, that's our favorite joke.
So you're the baddies.
oh no. I also don't feed my dogs to Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Holy moly.
That's
I should hope
really
not.
massive.
Oh, it's big. It's big.
Oh,
I got it. And then under.
okay, one with the camera.
I actually measured where the tower was so that it could be, I can get it with the cameras.
Got this side.
Good work, everybody.
I'm gonna just
Okay, so closer to me.
Copies have been taken away.
place it.
Their fate unknown at this point.
And now it's gotta get pushed towards
That's
this
a big
direction.
boy.
Yeah. Let's get it on the. Yep. There we go. There we go.
Oh, that's a big T-Rex. Ooh.
Probably dead.
So
These are the two.
No. Led away to a building.
you can see that there is these. So you are all approaching. You see that monument that is on that rise. You're all approaching from this side of the board. With your stealth checks, you can place yourselves anywhere kind of along the stone platform that monument is on.
Where's our pointer?
My laser pointer, I remember now, is upstairs because it was in my breast pocket from last night. But I'll get it at the break.
The other one got put over here.
So you can see this Tyrannosaurus. The fire giant is riding atop this thing. The dark skin glowing from underneath, like there is these slightly burning embers of charcoal. There are these two towers off to either side, one in slightly worse condition than the other. You can see here and there, Minka, there are these kind of clusters of crystal that rise up, and unlike the ones that are painted silver here, they are this similar kind of shade to that magical garnet. Yeah, garnet. The magical garnet that you have been collecting here and there. These seem to be natural clusters of it, and they're huge.
So where'd you say we can put ourselves?
Here, around this monument?
Yeah, anywhere around there.
Or back, or just all of us at the monument?
Up to you. I would suggest behind it.
I would like to go.
I would suggest not in immediate island. Get crushed.
Really there.
And so these two things symbolize the beginning of this kind of gateway.
Okay, cool. How many ears does this giant have?
Make a perception check.
Gonna stand next to Alice, I think.
Put myself up in the little hidey hole corner. Thanks, Dan.
Howdy, Talon.
Okay, she doesn't say that. She doesn't say that.
3D prints made by Dan, not a sponsor.
Minka, do you want to be on the ground or up top?
Yeah, Dan did that. Dan did a lot of the platforms. He did the big stone things.
Fighter.
Ground or monument?
Monument.
And
There's not a whole lot of hiding space left.
Ground then.
21 to see how many ears this giant has.
As you look and try to figure out how many ears this giant has, we're going to step away for a quick break, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Thank you for sticking with us. We'll be back in just a bit.
Pray for us.
And welcome back to Adventures in All Bron Courts of Everest, where we are ready and on time and totally plugged in. We're going to just jump right back into a little bit of D&D.
We were playing with a kitty.
I wasn't a kid, that's fine.
All right. So,
Yeah, I was kicking a cat.
For all more mouse theater for your sign off tonight.
Mouse Theater is pretty great.
Mouse
yeah.
theater is good.
In front of all of you, you can see this Tyrannosaurus Rex. You can see this giant. And as you all cluster around this monument, these eyes glower ahead.
The eyes. What are these ears?
With your perception check, Ori, you see 2 ears.
Oh,
on this
damn.
fire
Okay.
giant.
Now the eyes.
I was hoping you only had one. That would have been really
Better. Situation.
I don't think we want.
How many ears does the
T-Rex
Tyrannosaurus
is the sympathetic
have?
one.
That's true.
If this was one, I would have been like,
Best.
Or you don't really know what ears look like for
So the
Tyrannosaurus, but they're
average
not.
is 1.
I mean, it depends on how you want to do that math. But you see the Tyrannosaurus Rex and Ori, for you, really, as you're gazing and you're looking for the ears, you see 1, 2, down. And then you look, and the eyes are looking directly back at your party. You look, and as you like look around, you hear just ching, 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 everybody's like talking, and there's a lot of noise coming from here. And then this Tyrannosaurus Rex begins to approach.
It sees you.
And everybody can go ahead and roll for initiative.
Batter is
Those were terrible stealth checks.
They were real.
Listen, we were being held up so much by that plus 10.
yeah,
I
that 10.
didn't realize how important it was, but yes, quite critical. All right.
I don't want to be this high initiative.
I also don't want to be high initiative.
No.
Oh no. Rez and I both rolled a 19 on the die.
Tradesies?
Why don't you want to be high?
Because it's bad for spellcasters.
Anybody natural 20 aside from me?
Oh,
Well,
Oh, hey, that's all
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, as you're saying that, I was like, oh, it's not going to matter.
Campaign 2.
25 to 20.
30-20.
Where we're all
Alright.
new characters. because
Rez
nobody
at a
did.
22, Alina at a 21, annoyingly.
One for Alina. Yeah, that sucks.
It really sucks.
And 20 for Cheshire. 20 to 15.
18 for Billy.
17 for Minka.
16.
Oh, this is so easy to write. I love this.
I have a sharp.
All right, and then 15 to 10.
That's me at 11.
All right.
My hands don't work great, so I don't want to.
I had to turn around and be like, you idiots! Hi!
So the way that this works out, our giant is going to start us off. I'll wait for the back.
I mean, I think I had like a 17 or 18 for my stuff. That's okay.
The way that this is going to work out, the giant is starting us off, Matthew. Thank you very much. Then Rez, then Alina, then Cheshire, then Billy, then Minka, then Valis, and then at the very end, taking just for fun -1 to his initiative is Ori, as he is too busy talking to Valis. So, this fire giant is beginning us off and mounted on this Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I don't know, Joe. You always say that what it looks like is what the figures are, and I don't see him on that T-Rex.
I don't think you can balance it properly with that face.
where's Atharion in all this?
Oh, I just put him there. Is that where would he
If
put
he's
him?
smart,
in the order.
he's fled.
We turn around and Thor and just like, fuck this, I'm out.
And so this Tyrannosaurus uses its full turn to just dash over here. And then on his back, you see this fire giant, as he's moving, is like taking one of these chains and uncurling it from his arm. At its apex, it's moving like in a 40-foot arc around him. And then he punches forwards. And as he does, how about Valis? Can you go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, please?
I am
Not the type.
happy with my placement.
14.
Okay. Valis
in Cheshire left
does a 24 hit.
after the rest of us are killed.
Yes.
Okay. So this
got a
chain rushes forwards and wraps around you. You are restrained. Additionally, as he takes this chain, instead of taking his second attack, he is going to take the arm and tug as tight as he can, and you feel the chain as it goes around you pull taut. You can hear the different metal links as they like threaten to almost pull and snap taut. You feel like like this is going to, on the next turn, if you do not escape it, cause some significant stretching to your physical form.
Okay.
This is the fire giant's turn. That is going to bring us to Rez. Rez is going to take the dodge action on his turn. He just flying up in the air is going, Alina, what do you want me to do? And just one side to the other. But that is Rez's turn. Alina, how do you respond?
All right. Alina's like, well, I guess time for my usual move, and she's gonna fly up in the air.
There you go.
Okay, so here's what I want to do.
Use this for Alina.
Thank you. Bear with me just a second. Let me pull this up. Here's what I want to do.
Okay.
I would like to fly up, if I may, to about here. And then what I want to do, so I'm going to whip out the Amulet of Fickle Cold.
Okay.
And which you may remember has this property where it'll either go forward or fart it out behind me.
Confusion.
So I want to arrange myself so that I'm mathing so that I can hit the
Those
giant
two
with
and
the
not
cone.
the other two.
Yep. I don't really care so much about the T-Rex, but the giant who is sitting on top of the T-Rex, trying to hit him with the cone of cold. Which I think if I'm like from up here, I should be able to hit him and not the party. And then if it backfires, it shoots out harmlessly behind me.
Correct. Go ahead.
good?
Yeah, go for it.
That's what I'm doing. Okay. Now I gotta pull up the rules for the amulet because I don't quite. Make a competing check using my spellcasting modifier against the fire giant. Using his spellcasting modifier, I suppose.
No, it's actually using the same spell. So the whole idea behind this is it's a competing charisma check.
Right. All right. Well, so his charisma against my charisma. I rolled a 23.
10.
All right.
So as you hold out this, there's not even a brief flicker of magic. There's no contest here. The magic roils forward, this blast of cold energy.
Okay, well, so now that we know what direction it goes, now he has to make a con save, DC 17.
That is going to be a 14. They rolled real low for that.
Delightful. All right, I need 8 D8s, please. You folks can help me collect some D8s.
Here's 3 D8s, so 4 D8s.
4 is good. 5, 6.
How many more you need?
2 more.
Oh, here's 1.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's so jingly. Okay.
It does sound very nice when you roll it.
Yeah. Math camp, doing math on the camp. Woo, woo. Okay, so we got 10, 20, and then 16, so 36 points
Someone's
of
rolling
cold
dice
damage.
upstairs.
Nice.
How much?
36.
So, Alina, you pronk off the ground, flying up and up and up. And as you pull out this amulet, you can feel your mind and your magical ability just overwhelm this giant, and cold erupts from this amulet and goes over. It does the full amount of damage to this fire giant, and you can see after the blast rushes over him, the eyebrows like frozen against his face. You can see the skin is even darker, like the inner fire has been cooled somewhat within. It's a good blast. Anything else, Alina?
Did I catch the T-Rex with it as well, since it's a cone and it would have hit the T-Rex's like butt on the way down?
Yeah. For the T-Rex, does a 23 pass?
Yeah.
So
it's half as much.
Correct. However, so actually, remind me again, in the text of that spell, does it say a target? Or does it say creatures? Because if so, then the Tyrannosaurus Rex also gets a competing check.
No, it's the first creature that
There
it
you
would
go.
hit.
Cool. No worries. So they take half damage, I believe.
Yep.
18.
Why do they take half damage?
Because they saved in the con check.
in their con save.
T-Rex.
And I'm glad none of us are misgendering the
So-
T-Rex.
Over top, and it just creates this kind of crinkling sensation across them. That is Alina's turn. That brings us to Cheshire.
You're confused. Unsettling words on the giant, so that's -2 to this next one. And then confusion, which is a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point, so enough to hit the giant and the T-Rex. That is a wisdom saving throw for both of them, and that is -2 for the giant.
Okay. What kind of save is that? Sorry?
Wisdom.
Wisdom saving throw for the fire giant. That is going to be a grand total of 15.
That's a failure.
So that is a D4. Or sorry,
No,
D10 rather?
It is a D10.
At the start of his turn, correct?
Correct.
Cool.
Can't take reactions and must roll a D10 at the start of each of his turns to determine his behavior.
Actions. That's nice.
Very nice.
So all of a sudden you say you are confused, and as you do, they sure look it. As they have this chain, they are pulling it, and suddenly, Valis, as you feel your form threaten to snap in half, it slackens just a little bit. But we'll see if that continues.
Does it hit the T-Rex as well?
It does hit the T-Rex. The T-Rex, you said what kind of save?
Wisdom.
T-Rex is a very good wisdom save. It's actually the same as the fire giant. 15.
That's a failure.
There you go. So the fire giant also confused. Sorry, the T-Rex and the fire giant both look a little bit confused. We'll get back to that on their turn. Anything else, Cheshire?
That's it.
Okay. Billy, from where you are, you watch as Alina flies up into the air and unleashes this burst of cold. Cheshire begins to kind of do this weird fingery motion towards them. What are you doing?
Billy looks up and like kind of places a hand and like this and says, "You don't want to fight us," and casts Charm Person.
Okay.
Wisdom saving throw with advantage, unfortunately, because fighting.
You're fighting.
Does he have to be able to understand you?
No.
Doesn't say that.
Also, comprehend language.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, the comprehend just means that you can understand. I don't think you can speak it. So what? Sorry, what kind of save?
Wisdom with advantage saving throw.
Okay, that is going to be a 20.
That succeeds.
Yeah.
And then seeing that no glazing of eyes happens aside from the already existent confusion, Billy just casts Hexblade's Curse on the giant.
There you go. So you shout out at them, and as that doesn't seem to take any effect, you're just, you hiss, and as you do, the shadows become solid in front of you and squirm their way over and coat this giant. They are Hexblade's cursed. Anything else, Billy?
I don't really want to move, but I also want to move.
You are very under a T-Rex.
I am very under a T-Rex.
Why don't you want to move?
At the moment,
Ow.
the eyes are pretty glazed over on this
Billy
T-Rex.
is. Oh, that's right. They can't take reactions. Billy is gonna move away.
Look at that game sense.
So, Billy, all of a sudden, as the chain slackens
Smart,
just a little
lot of
bit,
you.
This is a laser.
Laser.
Billy's gonna go as far as they can that way.
okay.
30 feet?
Go one square this, so we're gonna end there. Yeah, there we go. A little bit. So I've got a square in between me and the giant.
Okay,
Oh,
no
the
worries.
giant is up here, right?
Yeah, so technically they are both on the same space as the Tyrannosaurus.
Oh,
That's a good
well then, yeah, right there. Let's go there.
Yeah, that's a good place to put him. So no worries. You put yourself 15 feet away from this fire giant and this Tyrannosaurus Rex, hugging the sort of stone wall behind you. You can feel as these 3 stone steps drop down and kind of slam into the ground level, and you hear this scraping as other ones begin to rise. You can feel heat coming from this wall. Whatever is powering this is probably the volcanic activity itself, but that is all happening on the other side of the wall from you. Anything else, Billy? Yeah.
That's all for Billy.
I forgot to tell Rez what to do. Help
did.
action on his next turn. Unless you're ruling that.
This time it is okay.
Okay.
I did note that down though for what it's
Thank
worth.
you. I appreciate it.
That is Billy's turn. Minka, what would you like to do? Valis, you're on deck.
Not to say Uno.
So, the first thing Minka's gonna do is move further away from the T-Rex physically.
Okay.
So, just back me up. How far? And then over, I can do 35 feet.
So
Orion
you were
and
here.
the,
So
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Huh?
Right next
I think
to
put me over to the left
where they-
one.
You're after Valis.
Yep.
No,
Oh, that's-
authority.
Is that
That's
30?
5, so you got 2.
After Ori,
More,
or sorry, after you.
Okay.
More
I was
left
just
then.
looking on there.
Yep. Yep. All right. So to start this off, Minka's gonna do archer form.
Okay.
So she's gonna take a bonus action to cast Warning Archer, which allows her to shoot once.
Yep. So as you're running away, you can hear this thing begin to run on the Tyrannosaurus. You run away, and as you turn back, you run 35 feet. This creature has crossed the entire distance and is looming over where you just were. So you turn, and as you turn, light comes from behind you. What normally forms a chalice spreads out and becomes a bow, and you have taken the form of the archer. Make your attack roll.
Not great.
And this is against the giant or the Tyrannosaurus?
It's against a giant.
Okay.
So that is a total of 16.
16. In this majestic moment, as this becomes a
Oh,
bow and you
17.
pull back, this shot goes wide, and starlight howls into the rock behind and just shatters.
Okay. Gonna be like, ah, dang it. That was my bonus action. So my action will actually be to dash and continue going to the left.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're up
thing-
against a wall, so you got
Yeah.
three squares. 3 more squares.
Do you want to climb?
That would be an action to climb, probably. And move me forward to I'm a little bit behind that rock, and then
Skill check is an action.
You got one more if you want it.
yeah, I'm good.
Cool. So you run over and kind of catch yourself along one of these jutting outcrops of rock, and peering over, you see this action in front of you. But that is your turn, Minka. Valis, as this creature storms forwards in front of you, you see the glowing light of Minka, who is like somehow now on the other side of this creature. What would you like to do?
Constricted.
Am I still?
Oh, you are correct. You are restrained. Yes.
All right. In that case,
At the beginning of your turn, if you wish. So, actually, sorry, as an action, you can make a strength check to try to break out of this condition.
all right. I'm just gonna cast Misty Step.
Okay.
And just not, and just.
Just not engage with
So-
that.
I don't really feel like dealing with it.
In this moment, he's pulling the chain, and you can feel the metal in your armor beginning to warp and displace. And so you just phase step. For the rest of you, you hear this snap as the chain goes entirely taut. The fire giant lurches slightly and looks confused. But where are you ending up, Valis?
Indeed.
If I want
Your
to
tricks
swing a sword at the fire giant, can I
an
do it
illusion.
from here?
Illusions, Michael.
If you want to swing a what?
Long sword at the fire giant. Can I do it from right there?
Yeah, you can. Absolutely.
Okay. I'll just do that.
So you
Right
phase
from the
step
chain.
right over on the other side. No problem. Make your attack roll.
All right. So let's see.
Fucking going toe to toe with a giant on a fucking T-Rex right now.
This motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Oh wait. Hey.
Slightly better.
16.
16 is a miss, unfortunately.
Oh.
As you phase step out, you appear, and where you are pulled sideways by the chain, it puts you off balance. So you have to draw your sword, and as you are swinging just a little bit off kilter, you miss. This Tyrannosaurus rearing back to strike. Anything else, Valis?
Yeah. Second attack.
Go for it.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be a worse.
My guess is that's going to be a miss, no matter what your modifiers are. You swing, and this time the creature already rearing up and away out of your reach.
All right. I'm done.
All right, that is your turn, Valis. That brings us to Ori.
All right,
Thorian's
so
on deck.
I'm gonna be like, well, fuck. I'm gonna run this way into this building here because I think there's a door on this side somewhere.
There's a door.
There is, correct.
So I'm gonna get.
You can lift those layers off if you want.
All right, let's do this. 4-layer cake.
There you go.
So enter.
So you burst through into this doorway. You can see there are elements of chain. In fact, this is the first place where you've seen a few bits of metal that are still attached. You can see most of them have been snapped away and pulled through the stone itself.
Cool.
There's a staircase beyond, and that seems to wrap up and up and up and up through the tower.
Okay, so the chains are just like hanging on the wall?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna bonus action dash up to the next floor.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and put that next floor down.
Which one was the next floor? This one?
The wooden one.
Scoop-a-doop, boop-a-doop. And
I think it'd be like this.
well, I'm just gonna keep on dashing.
Yeah, keep going. Add the
with
next
my
layer
full
back.
Speed.
We took this tower off just to add it back on layer by layer.
We started at the bottom, now we're at the
Well,
top.
because I wanted to
One
look
windows on this one here. Or you can go to the roof. There's another door on the roof.
As you're running up to that level, you can see there is like this trap door that you could burst through if you want.
Yeah, I think. How much is it to get up the stairs? Is it like 10?
It's 15 feet up each staircase.
Okay, so I could only go up 1, 2 then.
Okay. So you were like on the stairs
Or
getting
I guess
up
I could
there.
go 2 and then like a little bit.
Yeah, you're like halfway up the stairs.
Yeah.
We're all
You can leave that there. Leave that there. Because you're like on the stairs there.
Okay.
Good from up high,
Then I guess
surely.
action. Could I say that
Why else would you do such?
could I feasibly use my action to make more noted perception on my way up for any things that might
Yeah,
be helpful?
absolutely. Yeah, make a perception check. That's using your action for a skill check.
Yeah, but like while I'm running
Yeah.
up, so I can
Yeah,
check
yeah,
all
yeah.
the floors.
Does he get his thing?
Yeah, if you want to.
17.
17. With a 17,
Do you want
you see that this was at one point probably used to hold people temporarily on their way somewhere else. There's nobody here now, and there's no belongings here now.
Okay,
There's just
so
rubble.
this was basically like a holding cell or like
Seems
a
like
holding
it, yeah.
chamber. Okay, then yeah, that's all I can do.
Alrighty.
So I'm gonna wait. on
That
my
brings
next
us to
turn.
a Thorian, who was placed, I think, right
here.
Okay, cool. He is going to back out and just begin to sprint towards where I believe whoever's hiding, Cheshire. And they leap through the window and kind of land on the other side. Looking over at you, Cheshire, you watch as they duck down. They use their action to make a stealth check. They pull their bow out. Oh, just throw that.
We are falling apart, kids.
They draw out their bow and they are ready to fire if this thing draws closer. They look a little nervous, but that is their turn, and it brings us to the top of the round. This brings us to the giant and the Tyrannosaurus.
His turn. They have to roll a d10.
That is true. So for the Tyrannosaurus, that is a 5, and for the fire giant, that is a 10. Or sorry, a 4. I don't know how I saw that as 10.
They both. Creature doesn't move or take actions this turn.
Phenomenal. Can they take bonus actions?
That's all it says. Creature doesn't move or take actions this turn.
So bonus actions.
I don't know.
Reactions.
Yeah, that's. Yeah,
I mean, bonus is just an adjective.
Alright, is it
So,
describing
like, can't
the
take
thing?
actions,
Like-
bonus actions.
It
are
could
an
probably
action.
take
Square,
one
rectangle,
bonus
rectangle,
action.
Square.
It can't take its move action anyway, right?
I don't think it can take a bonus action
No
either.
movement or actions. It does say actions.
It says actions,
Oh,
but you can
anything
take
that
multiple
deprives you
actions.
from your ability to take actions also prevents you from taking a bonus action.
There you go. Easy enough. So that is their turn. Very well done. Do they get to make a save at the end?
They do.
Fantastic. And that is a wisdom.
Yes, sir.
For the fire giant, that is going to be probably
Take actions. What about bonus actions?
20, or sorry, not 20, 18.
That will succeed.
All right. And for the Tyrannosaurus Rex, 12.
That will not.
Okay. So still confuses Tyrannosaurus, kind of like thrashing around, but suddenly the fire giant just kind of clears his head and just glares down at Valis. You just confused them. They're pissed at you now. And so you see suddenly they take this chain and they begin to swing it around again. But that is their turn.
Oh, okay.
That is going to bring us to Rez. Rez is going to rush over to this creature and begin to just like swap into it and just go, hey! And just like try to, as much as they can, take the help action. Alina, what would you like to do?
Such a helpful action. All right, Alina's gonna be like, pop, pop, Eldritch Blast, blast. All right, so the first one has advantage on account of the help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. 21 to hit,
21 hits.
and then the second beam is a natural 20.
So do the regular one first and then the natural.
So the regular one is 6 points of force damage.
Okay.
And then the natty, not much better. 11 points of force damage and 3 bludgeoning on top of all of that, just a little sprinkle.
Okay.
Sprinkle of bludgeoning.
So you throw these. As you do, I mean, it's definitely doing the full amount of damage. She's still looking okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you're doing?
The numbies were bad. She's gonna say.
I know, that was shockingly bad.
Yeah, I did a 1 and a 3 on the damage die. She's gonna tell Rez, "Good job, keep it up."
Alrighty. Cheshire, what would you like to do? Are you concentrating?
I am.
Okay.
Mind Sliver on the giant. That's an intelligence saving throw.
Alright. That is going to be a failure for sure. 6.
Yep. That is 5 points of psychic damage, and he subtracts a d4 from the next saving throw he makes.
Do you want to just roll a d4?
2. And Billy, since I can kind of see you, I guess.
Thank you.
Don't fuck it up.
Billy does seem to be Cheshire's second favorite.
There you go.
After Minka.
So you hear over the sound of combat, "Don't fuck it up." Athorian kind of winces as you say that and kind of looks over. He has the bow ready to go. That almost causes him actually to fire, but not quite. That is going to be your turn, Cheshire.
Mm-hmm.
Billy, don't fuck it up. You hear? What would you like to do?
I don't like pressure. Oh, sorry, that was a Cheshire thing to say. Billy is going to. How long does this last?
10 minutes.
Sweet.
And if you fail, you get to keep it.
Billy is going to cast Blur on herself and just start like shifting with the shadows, and then looks over to Valis and just says, "Passing along a favor, I guess."
So you blur, and all the shadows seem to almost begin to crawl over you and become this blanket. It's hard to see Billy. Anything else?
Billy's gonna stay where she is.
All right. The inspiration train moves on. That is Billy's turn. That brings us to Minka.
Okay, so since Minka is a little bit behind this thing, she's going to use it to steady her focus, I guess, because she's gonna do another fired shot of from the arrow.
Okay.
Of the archer from her, which is worse, so that misses again.
You pluck one of the stars from behind you. The whole form grows a little dimmer with each one, but you fire, and this one too, just off. This is really only your second or third time using the archer form, so not a lot of practice.
No, guide bolt. So that is probably a miss still, because that is a total of 17.
That is a miss, unfortunately. It's so close, though. This time, it hits the elements of plate mail, but just ricochets off and into the darkness.
Dang it.
Anything else, Minka?
She's just gonna sit there and be like, no, don't.
Okay.
No.
That is your turn.
And then
You miss twice. Valis, you watch as this arrow of starlight and then this guiding bolt just ineffectually bounce off the armor. What would you like to do?
So the giant is swinging his chain. He's staring at me.
Staring right at you.
I stare up, angry, and I yell, "Bring it!" And I take the dodge action.
Bring it by.
Fantastic. So Valis, the tried and true technique. Ori, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna continue making my way up to the top of this tower here.
Ori with his bulletproof cardio.
Yeah. Weaponizing cardio.
Never
is
skip
Ori.
leg day.
Just like Legolas, no sweat. You're just up at the top, ready to go.
Legolas.
It's
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get. Don't worry about it.
and then I'm gonna go over here so I get the good view of that.
There you go.
And I'm gonna insightful fighting on this here giant guy.
Okay.
natural 20.
16. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
That's such a quiet
so now for the
natural
next
20.
minute, I have.
Advantage.
Yeah. Well, I don't have advantage.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So this individual, as you are looking and you can see them riding this, they shake their head. They're no longer confused. They are less armored, and you can kind of see spots where they look a little bit more vulnerable than some of the other ones that you fought, and that gives you that sneak attack ability.
Do I have advantage from this vantage and not being currently detected as far as I know?
Yeah, as far as you know.
Well, for the effect of the roll.
Yes.
Okay.
You have advantage.
Okay, cool. Often accuracy. 29 to hit.
Absolutely, yes.
It's gonna be damage. That's pretty good. 23 points of magical piercing damage.
Very nice.
And I will not expend a charge.
Wisely, you don't end up using that ability because you know fire damage doesn't work on fire giants.
I learned that lesson.
Anything else, Ori?
That is it for me.
Valis' fire giant looks down. You say, "Bring it," and pull your shield, and then this arrow just strikes him right in the back of the neck. And you can see it does take a little bit of an effect. They slap like they were stung, but they still swing that chain and still look at you. That is Ori's turn. That brings us to Thorian. They're going to continue waiting and holding their action for a particular thing to happen. That is Thorian's turn. That brings us to the top of the round and to the fire giant. So the Tyrannosaurus is still confused.
That was a D10.
That is going to be a 10.
Creature can act and move normally.
Love it. Okay. They're still confused though, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So they are going to turn and you say bring it, and suddenly the Tyrannosaurus just shakes its head and you have these two individuals staring you down.
So like, all right, bro.
The Tyrannosaurus is going to strike first. They're going to take one attack.
Good try.
As the Tyrannosaurus like shakes its head and suddenly the eyes clear, it furrows its brow and it swings all the way around the tail. It's going to hit you with the tail first. That is only going to be a 15 to hit.
Miss.
And so you leap over top and you land, just all the metal just slamming down on the ground. And then as it wheels around, the head rears back and it's going to attempt to bite you. That is going to be a 23 to hit.
Is that a disadvantage?
No. Why is that a disadvantage?
Because if you can dodge a dinosaur, you can.
Yeah, there you go. 13.
Yeah.
And so this time again, you land on the ground and it swings around to bite you, and you bring the shield up and it on the shield and cannot bring it shut. You like hold it up and then just swing it aside. It has to rear back. But that is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. The fire giant
This guy pulling aggro.
is going to swing this chain around and
words.
swing it at you. Does a 26 hit?
Is that with disadvantage?
No, sorry.
I'm listening for the number of dice.
23.
Yeah.
Exact same thing. That is going to be a dexterity saving throw, please.
All right. Because I'm dodging, I have advantage.
Go.
Or 16.
16. That is a failure.
Oh wait, I can add this die, right?
Yes, you can.
I definitely would have done that.
I think you also can add it though after you roll, can't you? Is the mode of potential?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's my dice.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
18.
In 18, hang on 1 second. Pizza. And so as this chain strikes you, you do take 20 points of bludgeoning damage. This chain slams into you, and as it wraps around the first time, you struggle it off, and you pull around, and the chain just snaps, and there are sparks that fly from it. The metal bends somewhat, and that would have done even more damage and bound you up again. However, you are able to not be bound by it. Enraged, this creature rears back, and they attempt to swing with just their fist. Disadvantage. 20 to hit.
Oh, means it beats it.
All right. And so as they swing down with this unarmed strike, You are going to take another 20 points of bludgeoning damage as they just slam you down. You manage to keep your feet. You hold the fist, but it bends elements of your metal. And as you straighten your arms out and throw it away, like you cannot fully straighten your arms out because the metal is warped. But that is both of their attacks. That is its turn.
T-Rex can make a wisdom save.
I'm going to, but I just want to see if there's any reason for it to move. Not really. Yeah. Okay. Wisdom saving throw for the T-Rex. 0. So that is going to be a failure. That brings us to, he's even more confused than he was before. There's a brief jolt of aggression and then, wait, why am I doing this? I'm confused. That is their turn. That brings us to Rez. Rez continues to just jab at this creature's eye. It gets confused more because Rez is now just slapping at it. Yeah. But that is Rez's turn. It confers advantage to the next attack. Alina, what would you like to do?
I am the next attack.
You are. In that way, it kind of works out nicely.
That's true. Yeah, you sacrifice the first turn, but then it's pretty good after that. All right. I'm gonna cast Hex on the giant, and then pop, Eldritch Blast.
What ability score are you targeting?
Drain. No, wait, no.
Having a tower.
Intelligence.
Intelligence, okay.
Doesn't really matter that much because it's not for saving throws. All right, 2 Eldritch Blasts. First one with advantage. 17.
17 is gonna be a miss, unfortunately.
And then the second one. 14.
14. You hurl these blasts and it just into the plate. Doesn't even do any damage. It just leaves scorch marks. Anything else?
Just gonna be like, Rez, I know I missed. But just keep doing what you're doing, and I'll do better next time.
You could just hear as he's like swinging around, you're doing it, great job, and just he's like trying his best.
My baby.
But that is Rez, that is Alina. Cheshire, what would you like to do?
Thank you.
Can I see Valis from where I am?
Yeah.
Presumably.
Yeah. There's windows and all that wall, so you can definitely see.
Wonderful. You got this, buddy.
From in the darkness of this ruined building, you just hear this like voice trickle out like oil. Anything else, Cheshire?
I'll do a mind sliver. Why not?
Yeah, go
It's
for
an
it.
intelligence saving throw.
From the giant?
Against Valis?
13.
That is 7 points of psychic damage.
Nice. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. This fire giant is beginning to show signs of damage. But that is Cheshire's turn. That brings us to Billy.
Billy's gonna draw her sword, run forward while lighting it blaze,
Okay.
and is going for the legs of the T-Rex.
Okay, make her attack roll. It does increase the AC slightly.
Billy misses, and I'm not even gonna use my bardic inspiration for that.
No worries. So you rush for it. Well, okay. Yeah, what was the whole roll?
If you use the dice and it doesn't work, you still get to keep the dice. That's a good point.
The whole roll is an 18.
An 18? An 18 hits.
Ooh.
This is a massive creature with no armor. It's just wearing chains that kind of like are used to direct it.
Thick skin.
Even trying to hone in on one body part, it's a big body part.
Take that for you, and this for me. And Billy is going to expend 1 bardic inspiration for a slashing flourish,
Go for it.
which will deal extra damage to the giant. So that's 6 plus 7, 13 points of magical piercing initially to the T-Rex.
Okay.
With 7 points of fire damage to the T-Rex.
Okay.
There's some fire damage to the fire giant, but it does nothing. And 1 point of magical piercing to the T-Rex and the giant.
Okay. Hey, you know what? There you go. And
Straight up to it.
Yeah, Billy's like right there. Yeah.
For what it's worth, Billy, even though that's just a tiny little bit of damage, that seems to be what really makes this fire giant now start to look a little hurt. They're bloodied. But that is... anything else, Billy?
I know what that means.
Oh, I do have a bonus action. I'm gonna use a spell.
Okay.
Phallus is looking pretty awful, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my last spell slot for a healing word.
My armor is now actually looking like the drawings from Cheshire.
Oh no.
It's been flattened and it's just like.
So that's
It's like a crop top now.
Cheshire
9
tells the
points.
future.
There you go. So 9 points of healing to Valis.
Thank you.
Nice.
Anything else, Billy?
now I'm done.
Alrighty, Billy, you rush forwards and strike, and the fire laps across the fire giant harmlessly, but the rest of the blow does plenty of damage. Minka, from your star form, from where you are, you can see Billy is engaging, and you can see there are bits of damage now beginning to pour in and take hold.
Hold on. Sorry, I have to read a card real quick.
Exodia the fucking.
There's an extra 4 to the giant because he's cursed.
Here you go.
Extra bloody.
Okay. Extra 4 to the giant. Extra bloody. Medium.
5.
Minka, what would you like to do?
All right, so she's gonna actually move closer to the giant, so it's within 30 feet of
Okay.
her. So just kind of like shove her forward.
Like 15 feet?
Yes.
So you want to be here?
Yeah.
Nice.
And from here, she's gonna once again bonus action shoot with an arrow.
Okay, so as you run forward, you pull one of these stars back and it stretches into arrow form.
Even worse.
Oof. Running and shooting is hard.
Just whiffing left and right,
That's
and
why I
then
stand and she's most of the time.
We've been good.
So as Billy swings and fires and the flame rises up, this green fire seems to startle the giant for just a second. And as they flinch away, your arrow passes in the space of their face.
and then she's gonna throw a ice knife at the giant.
Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but both the giant and the T-Rex are larger than a 5-foot humanoid.
Correct.
So if I hit the giant, that 5-foot burst would affect the
Only
giant,
the giant. Yeah. Well, I mean,
and the T-Rex at most.
is it an attack roll or is it a saving throw? You know what I mean?
It's an attack roll.
It's an attack roll, then yeah, it's only going to hit the fire giant.
Right. But there's like a 5-foot burst
Correct.
radius, so it'll only hit the fire.
Correct, yeah.
Cool.
If it was an area effect that you could choose an area to target, then you could choose where to put it, and you could have it hit both. Since it's a target, it has to hit just the one.
Okay, cool. So,
And that's the size.
yeah. So,
Or something. That's right.
Yeah, these targets right here, so it goes boop to boop.
right. All right. Ice knife.
What do you call it? Oh, the hitbox is
Yeah.
too small, yeah.
The box only goes up to here.
Rolling
It always
absolute
hits at the
trash.
center.
What'd you roll?
Misses.
It always hit
I rolled
box.
a total of 15.
15 is a miss.
I have been in single digits this whole time.
And so you fire with the arrow, it goes wide. You throw out the ice knife, it just hits and shatters on the fire giant. Anything
So
else?
the ice knife does have an effect, even if it misses. Unhit target takes the unmissed, the shard explodes, and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 points of cold damage.
6.
So that fails because my dex save is 16. So it still takes 2d6 cold
There you
damage.
go.
Yeah, ice knife. Love the ice knife. Maximum damage!
That's so funny. Missing with ice knife is better than hitting.
Yeah, right?
amazing.
It's wild.
Yeah.
12.
12.
It's perfect.
Amazing. Yeah,
Especially right now.
is. So, yeah, that's a good amount of damage for this creature. It seems to do just the amount that you would imagine it would. It's not extra damage versus this fire giant, but it shatters and explodes behind him. At first, as it misses, you kind of seems to snarl at Valis and smile and begin to smash down. Then it shatters behind him, and little bits of this, almost like glass, stick into his skin. He begins to turn, and you're starting to get his attention.
Yeah.
But anything else, Minka?
No, it wasn't glowing, so it doesn't
Alrighty,
help.
yeah, that's definitely helping him. Valis, anything you would like to do?
Yeah. So Valis had just gotten like whacked and flattened. So as he throws the hand away, he spits out blood on the ground because he's looking pretty bad, and he goes, "All right, my turn." And I attack it.
Attack roll. Are you attacking the fire giant or the Tyrannosaurus?
Fire giant.
That was so bad.
I could do this all day. I saw a play called Captain America one time.
Let's.
I get knocked down and I get back up again.
So says the
gonna
bard
add-
Tumba,
Bardic to that.
his friend.
24 to hit.
Hey, sorry, say one more time. I have a whole speech happening over here.
24 to hit.
24 hits.
Alright, and I'm gonna smite it. Second level, so
Okay.
we are smiting today.
Smite, 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 smite.
So the weapon damage is 11
Okay.
slashing, and then the smite damage is that and that. Not the best numbers. 10 radiant.
10 radiant. I mean, it seems to do the full amount of damage.
Alright.
And as you were swinging, it slams in, and this radiant blow just across. Though Minka has missed several times, with the little jagged bits of ice behind and that blow, he's starting to look a little rough. Now, while he was looking rageful at you and at Minka, the look at Minka now is more a look of urgency.
Okay. Second attack.
Yeah, go for it.
Uno.
Does 9 hit?
And that's not it, believe it or not. So a little wide is that second hit. As the fire giant rears out and they turn fully to face Minka, they are just a little too far away. But that is your turn, Valis. That brings us to Ori.
I am going to stand and shoot.
Okay.
So I'm gonna steady aim, which will give me advantage.
You can use the crenellations of this tower to
Yeah, I'm getting real comfy. Like, this is great for me. I can just kind of post up
you have
right
the high
here.
ground.
I can
Yeah.
lean over.
It's like the
that.
first time ever that you've been able to do this.
I'm just a fucking filthy camper. And just in case, yep, that's gonna be 28.
Yeah, 28 hits.
Dang.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to just have a tower.
Have tower.
Ooh,
Ori is really
all
in
right.
his element.
Ori's gonna be like, can we just dig this up and bring it with us?
27 magic piercing.
Very nice.
In the back of holding. Ori.
And yep, that's it for me. Steady aim. I don't make any movement, and
Ori.
I just
Tell us how it happens.
I was like, oh, this is actually one of the better ones for us in general, except for Valis. And then I just hit the same little spot right at the neck, and it just does it. Hits
All
the
right.
jugular.
So as Valis swings and this smite goes off and explodes in radiant damage, you can see he's reaching, pulling out this ice-like, almost, or glass-like ice, flings it on the ground, mixed with his own blood. He turns and this blast almost ripples him off, and he turns, beginning to look a little uncertain now, Valis. And as he turns to fully face you, Minka, you see these blazing red eyes looking down at you, this chain, and then as the chain goes around, through elements of one of the links, one of Ori's arrows passes through and just right in the jugular. You can see the arrow wobbles and then this spray of blood as the arrow slices the vein open, and he begins to bleed out and just slumps off this Tyrannosaurus Rex, who is still wild. But that is your turn, Ori.
That is my turn.
There you go. That is Ori's turn. That brings us to Athorian. This fire giant slams into the ground, and Cheshire, Athorian turns to you and goes, "You got this handled, I think." And he's going to turn and begin to move back off the map in the direction of the cluster of buildings.
Also, not trying to be the dinosaur whisperer.
I was sure he wanted to whisper that dinosaur.
It seems like his attention's on something else. That is Thorian's turn. That brings us to this Tyrannosaurus Rex. So they are still confused.
D10.
9.
Creature can act and move normally.
Damn.
Phenomenal. I would say, Cheshire, can you roll a d6, please?
Which direction?
5.
Where'd it go?
Okay. So as the fire giant swings off, almost annoyed, this creature like backs up a couple of paces and then it's like direct eye level with you. And there is nothing else. This creature is like a little bit like unbridled at this point. And so it's going to take 2 attacks against you, Valis.
Jump on.
Are you dodging?
I am not dodging.
So first with the bite, or sorry, with the tail, that is going to be a 25 to hit.
That will hit.
All right. Second, Valis, you are going to take 18 plus. We're taking 25 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm down.
All right. So this Tyrannosaurus wheels around and the tail hits you straight in the chest, and you are knocked off the platform and into the ground below. He wheels around, and as he goes to bite, you are gone. As Rez has been using the help action, he is visible, and so as Rez is the only thing that he can immediately see, he snaps at the air. Does a 19 hit Rez?
Yeah.
Okay, how much health does Rez have?
10.
Rez just disappears.
No.
Minimum 11 damage, so yeah, gone. The Tyrannosaurus, though, as he snaps, suddenly kind of wheels up and just tries to snap again, confused as to why nothing's in its mouth. But that is its turn. That does bring us to, well,
Riz tastes like
Can make
ash.
a wisdom save.
yeah. Before he takes a wisdom save, as he snaps at Rez and lands down, Minka, you see this head turn, and it's going to stomp over to you.
Attack of opportunity from Billy.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. That is a 24 to hit.
24 hits.
Let me grab my D6.
Is that 60 feet?
This was
Ooh,
35.
max
Easy.
damage. 13 points of magical piercing.
13 points of magical piercing. So this dinosaur does take a little bit of damage as it moves forwards, but Minka, you see as this slash cuts across its back leg, it just pulls away. It doesn't even seem to break stride and begins to pick up pace towards you. But that is its turn. That brings us to Rez, who is down. Alina, what would you like to do?
How dare you? Let's see. Well, she definitely cares that Valis is down, but she cares a little more that Minka, who is the primary healer, might be down, so she's gonna she's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7.
Okay.
And then pop.
So you hop up using this flying kind of pronking motion, and on each apex of your leap, you throw one of your Eldritch Blasts.
Yeah, it's cool as shit. I have 14 on one of them,
But that one's wait, sorry, 14?
yes.
That's a hit.
Right, the T-Rex is not the giant. And
That is
then 26 on the other.
Double hit.
Nice.
Literally.
Yes. All right, so that's Jesus. That's gonna be 15 points of force damage and 3 bludgeoning.
All right. All right. Anything else, Alina?
Yeah, she's gonna call down just generally Valis is down. Somebody get him.
So Billy and Mika, for the two of you, you watch as like Alina is flying to the side, just throwing Eldritch Blast, basically strafing like a dogfight. And as this happens, they begin to yell out that Valis is down. I believe, Billy, you can see Valis, and I think that's kind of it at the
I think
moment. Maybe Cheshire.
Alina's maybe not sure where Cheshire is, so
Yeah.
she doesn't know whether Cheshire can see or not.
No worries.
Cheshire would have seen Valis go down.
Yeah, that is your turn, Alina.
Yeah, and then
Everyone would've
reflexively,
seen you
she's
go
like,
down,
Rez, you
but-
should. Oh.
Cheshire, what would you like to do?
Healing word.
All right. So, Valis, you slam into the darkness, and then suddenly, almost regrettably, you are brought back to
Get the
consciousness.
fuck up. That's 8.
You're like, oh, damn it. You pull yourself back up to your feet, harmed, but ultimately still alive.
Mind sliver on the lizard. That's an intelligence saving throw.
How smart is this lizard?
5.
5 number of smart.
6 psychic damage.
6 points of psychic damage. All right.
5 smart.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. He flinches and twitches, and a little bit of blood trickles from its nose after this mind sliver, but it still stops towards Minka. That is Cheshire's turn. That brings us to Billy. Minka, you're on deck.
Billy's gonna get up into base contact.
All right, Billy, you slash it. It continues to run, but you're not going to let it get away. You chase it.
Billy's gonna go for the legs again.
Make an attack roll.
You might be flanking.
You are. Yeah, I would say you are.
Yeah.
Get that lizard.
That is a 25 to hit the legs.
25 hits.
Right.
Hamstring him.
T-Rex burn another thing. Do I want to burn a thing? Let's burn a different thing. Let's burn a spell slot, and we'll do a Wrathful Smite for an additional D6 psychic damage and a Wisdom saving throw, please.
They're not big chickens.
1.
Chickens have
Sweet. He's frightened of me.
Okay.
It's 8 points of magical piercing and 3 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
And he is frightened.
Yeah, go ahead and put that status on him. All of a sudden, from behind him, he is slashed. And actually, he's going to make a dexterity saving throw. What is your spellcasting DC?
15.
15. And as he tries to take this next step forwards, falls prone as you slash the back of his ankle, weakening it enough so that he is unable to take that step in the way that he planned. He is not forced to stay down, but he is prone at this moment. It turns, and in this moment, Billy, you see the eye, and the pupil just shrinks, and there is fear in this dinosaur. But that is your turn, Billy?
Yes, there's an evil smile with like sharpening of teeth. And
No worries. That is Billy's turn. That brings us to you, Minka. Suddenly, this dinosaur right about to get to you, and the face right in front of you. What would you like to do?
Shocking grass.
All right.
So it's prone, and this is a melee spell attack.
Correct. This
So
is.
it's advantage.
Yep. And if it hits, it's critical.
So that is a total of 17.
That hits.
So it's critical.
Yep. And double the damage on the dice.
Yeah. So it takes a total of 10 lightning damage,
Very nice.
and then Big just runs straight towards that arch, and then like high fives Billy on the way.
Okay. So, Billy, you slash at its ankles. It falls. And then as it falls and the face just into the dust, you see electricity, almost like a static shock based on its size, just roll across his face, and you hear from the front another. And then Mika rushes around the side, high fives you, and then continues.
Can I see Valis?
I would say you see like his feet and like they're like moving around as he is sitting up. Yeah, you can see him.
Okay. See that Valis is like getting up. She would like to actually get closer to him to use action and everything. So she's gonna turn around and just fire a shot at disadvantage because it's a ranged spell attack.
Yeah, go for it.
And no ones, but it definitely doesn't hit. Because I don't think single digits hits anything.
It does not, unfortunately. So again, you rush by a high five, and then you're like, oh wait. And with your high five, you grab one of your stars and you go to fire, and you do, and it's just wide.
I
And
gotta ask because why not? Is it disadvantage when prone when the creature is this big?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That is your turn, Minka.
Yeah, her
Valis.
Expresses the
Her
soft
reaction.
underbelly.
Valis, you are up. What would you like to do?
Alright. Let's see. I get up, I realize I'm
Chickens
conscious,
have
and I whisper under my
underbellies.
breath. I'm sorry, Mela. Not yet. And then I'm gonna run up to the dinosaur and smack it twice with my sword.
There you go.
Oh, I have advantage because it's prone, right? Yeah! 26.
How far did you move, out of curiosity?
30.
So if you are unconscious, you don't go unconscious on your feet.
Oh, you're right.
right.
Oh, that's my fault. I stood up your guy to represent the
Right.
That's all right. No worries.
In that case, I am going to move 15 feet. And then I'm going to Misty Step into the air above it and dive into it.
So you just appear up at the top. Here's a flight stand. Can you try to put Valis like prone on the flight stand to symbolize that he's falling at this moment? That is your turn, Valis.
Oh, no, I still attack it. That's a bonus action.
Oh, gotcha.
And
Okay.
so I bonus
Continue to
action,
fall into
Misty Step. I move 15 feet after getting
Yeah.
up.
So make a flat attack roll. You're getting disadvantage for the attack. You're also getting advantage because it's a melee attack on a prone individual. So it just kind of cancels out. It's still hard to miss. Huh?
Because you're falling from a great height.
Yeah. And this is not like really you being able to fly as much as it's you putting yourself at a height and falling.
Kind of like
Very
a
good.
ranged melee attack at this point.
No!
Yeah, it is a ranged melee attack. The rare ranged melee attack.
Let's see. Rolls early was so good.
That one's not.
That one's not though. 9 to hit.
9 is a miss, unfortunately. And so as you just appear, you have the swords in your hand, you go to drive down, and as you do, Minka just goes, "Ow!" and just sparks it, and it just kind of backwards, and you right in front. You just spear straight through the head, but it just goes right between it and Minka. And you guys are just in a line, like perfectly stretched through. It's like Minka suddenly, this huge armored figure right in front of you. Yeah, fantastic. Anything else,
Balance
Valis?
at it and I missed.
There you go. So that is your turn, Valis.
Yeah.
Ori, from the top of the.
Oh, I get a second attack.
Yeah, go
Unless
for it.
I don't.
No. I think you do get the second attack.
Do I get it actually at advantage now?
No, just flat. If you're getting the second attack, technically it's happening during the same course of the fall. So this is like a corkscrew attack on your way down, basically.
Okay. Flat.
Ooh, that's better.
24 to hit.
The 24 does hit. So as you miss with the first one, you slam into the ground and you rip the sword out, cutting through the sand, and use that as your second attack.
All right. 11.
11 points of damage. And this creature's starting to look kind of rough. Anything else, Valis?
That's it.
Ori, from where you are, you have a great view of what's happening. You see this Tyrannosaurus get hamstrung, it falls to the ground. Mika shocks it in the face just enough so that Valis misses it after teleporting into the air, but able to hit it on that second strike. What are you doing from the top?
This is all well and good, but it seems like the situation is pretty under control. But what I'm more concerned about is where Athorian is going. So I'd like to use my bonus action, Eye for Detail,
Make a perception check.
to look for the stuff going on where he went over there. 17.
A 17 is enough for you to see that the building that they are heading towards seems to be shaped almost like a four-pointed crown, and there are flags that are hanging off 2 of those points. You can't really make out what they are, but Athorian seems to be heading in that direction.
Okay.
Have we helped the baddie?
That is your bonus action.
Yeah. I'm gonna make note of that and try to keep an eye on where, like, assuming that he's still heading in that direction. Try to
For what
keep
it's
eyes on-
worth, they're not doing this in a stealthy way whatsoever.
Okay.
They're moving in that direction.
Okay. Yeah, like I don't suspect anything necessarily, but I want to keep an eye on him
worries.
because he's been helping us.
That's your turn.
No. Then I'm gonna make just an attack on this.
Go for it.
At disadvantage because it's a prone creature. and
It's a
I'm
flat
using
roll.
range
It's a flat roll,
attack?
yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, that's some Valis rolls.
Like you guys were rolling so well, and like when you were fighting this thing on equal footing, you were doing great. Now that it's like confused on the ground, can't hit it.
13.
Needs a pizza.
All right, and that is a sneak attack, I believe.
That is, you don't need advantage to get a sneak attack.
No one expects.
That's gonna be 12 plus 6 is 18 points of piercing damage.
Plus what?
18.
18. Just 1 second here. Anything else, Ori?
That is. I guess I'll move a little, get a little bit of a better view over this way.
Okay. So you slide 5 feet over and just put your bow back down. You've heard that snipers need to move between shots. Maybe 5 feet
Try
is
to get
enough.
a range so that I had to make a shot towards, like, if I see anything.
I got you.
Nepal
Yeah.
Arthurians,
So you are lining it up so that you can still keep a better eye on him. No worries.
And like, if I need to make a saving shot.
That is your
for him.
turn, Lori. You see, as they make their way in, they make their way 20 feet further and then slide into cracks into the wall of the space, and they disappear from your sight. But they are within this kind of damaged structure.
Okay.
That is Athorian's turn. That brings us to this Tyrannosaurus Rex. Minka, this creature in front of you, you watch, it's looking kind of rough, and then an arrow hits it like straight in the back of the neck. It is almost panicking now, and as it climbs to its feet, taking half of its movement.
Well, it can also roll a d10 first.
This is also true, actually, before it climbs to its feet.
It might
4.
not.
I don't think it is.
Creature doesn't move or take action.
You can see panic take over in this creature's eye. It begins to kick and move. And though it can't take actions or move, it's like trying to thrash itself up. It's like panicking on the ground
I
now.
was just hungry and tired.
That brings us to Alina.
Bleeding.
I guess.
Cheshire, you're on deck.
So my Eldritch Blast get disadvantage or flat? What are we?
I believe you're attacking at advantage.
Mommy,
me
why
one sec.
does
Eldritch
hurt?
Blast is a ranged spell.
Oh, okay. So flat.
Nice. Okay.
Altitude versus them being prone.
All right. A natural 1 and 16.
16 does hit.
Yeah, but who do I hit with my natural 1?
Based on where you are, there's nobody really for you to hit. So
Very good.
luckily, this howls out, strikes into the tower, and Ori, you watch as Alina is throwing Eldritch Blast at you. It hits just 20 feet below you, but there's nobody else even close to that. So who else could it be?
Sorry.
Not bad.
10 points of force damage and 3 bludgeoning.
Alina. Is that the rest of your turn?
Yeah.
That is your turn, Alina. Cheshire, what would you like to do?
You bag of dicks.
Got him, boys.
When I'm God, I'm God.
Why not? Intelligence
Okay.
saving throw.
That's really high for it. 12.
Ooh, 12 points of psychic damage.
Cheshire, tell us how. I had to check to see how much damage.
I feel like I was like one off.
You were two off.
Implodes
Peaceful
from the head
euthanasia.
out.
So, Minka, directly in front of you, you see this dinosaur just like kicking, trying to get up, and then suddenly it stops. You see the eye just, and then just burst out. You are sprayed with ichor and ooze, but you are all out of initiative.
Just add that to like the pile of trauma. Just stick that one on top.
It's the yuckiest piece of trauma yet. So
I want to
icky.
keep an eye on
Ichor frosting on the trauma
Thorian
cupcake.
now that we're out of yeah.
At the end of the battle, Minka's gonna run up to Valis to cast a 3rd level Cure Wounds.
Okay. So you struggle up to your feet. You like are dripping with basically a Tyrannosaurus Rex eyeballs. The aqueous humor behind the actual eye is burst and is like all over you. There is a crystal within its eye. And so you can see like this huge, it's just a lens. It's big though, for what it's worth. There is a dead Tyrannosaurus Rex. There is a dead fire giant. And Ori, as you watch, suddenly you see a Thorian Sember's head poke out, and he is bringing something over.
Can I see what he's bringing? Or is it like hefty or like?
It seems to be something maybe made out of cloth or a bag, but hard to tell at this distance. But he's coming back over.
He still have his egg on his back.
He does.
What's the
guess I'm
fire
just
giant
gonna-
got in its pocket?
Make an investigation check as you go over.
I'm gonna stay up there and just keep an eye.
Make a perception
Make sure
check.
that he's.
I'd like to also make an investigation
There's like
check.
no one coming around. Basically, like keeping watch now as we're scouring.
Killing
the
that giant
battlefield.
brought Billy back up to full health.
24.
With a 24, you go over to this giant, and they are draped in all elements of chains. There are cages that are sized for both medium and small creatures, that are dangling off the body. He's crushed a few of them in his fall, but there are still 3 or 4 that are left. Attached to the belt, there are bolts of gold, each one almost the size of your fist. And so you could work to pry those off. Each one looks to be worth about 30 pieces of gold, and there are 10 in total.
Absolutely.
So you begin to set about prying those off, no worries. What did you roll?
A 7 for investigation on the giant as well.
You go to look, and then you see Cheshire just this big pink butt essentially in front of you as they begin to pry off elements. And as you turn to the side, now their back is to you, and it's almost like Cheshire's trying to block your view, but they wouldn't be doing that. They're just trying to get these gold pieces out.
23 points of healing, Bellas.
Very nice.
Alina's gonna like fly up to where Ori is and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shoot a blast towards you.
What?
Good fighting. That was really good."
Athorian's coming back with something.
I turn and look.
Okay. And at this point, I would say Valis, Billy, and Minka, the three of you, all kind of in the same area. Athorian approaches all of you. Give me just 1 second here.
Hey, we actually kind of did okay.
Athorian approaches, and you can see over his arm there are draped a number of pale cloths. But he approaches and just says, "You're all looking for something that can help you against fire, right?" The visitor center. You can tell from the flags.
I'm sorry, what?
He turns and he gestures, and you can see now there are 2 flags that are kind of over. You see one seems to be a cracked skull clutched from above by a massive fist. The other seems to be a castle of coal on a field of fire. But he points and just kind of says, "I recognize the kingdom's flag, but I don't know the other one. These are vestments of heat." And he kind of passes, there's 4 of them. And these will give you resistance to fire damage. They are a tabard and can be worn over clothing.
Billy takes one.
That's our boy, Thorian, right there.
This is the kindest act of DM pity I've ever witnessed.
You were told by the person who sent you here that the visitor center in the Great Hall area or the merchant area, again, his memory not great, there were these tabards that would grant people that were visiting, and here in the merchant district, probably where it would be. This is not mercy. This is what was here.
I do not remember
I
that.
don't remember him saying that. He said that there was something in there that could help you.
Yeah.
No
Talon doesn't appear to remember either.
Fair.
Talon doesn't remember.
I do remember that he at least told you. I knew that they were there, and he told you that there were things
Unless
that could
he's
help you
making
there.
fun.
That's all he said.
I don't remember. I don't remember if he said that there were the vestments of heat, but
He said there was something that can help you. He refuses to elaborate.
Wait, don't look at Gift Horse in the mouth. It's okay. Thank you.
they disappear. So Billy takes one.
Shrivels up. It's too small.
I have a shield. I don't think I'll need one. The shield protects me from heat.
Alina like hands one to Minka and just kind of like puts it on her. And then Alina's like, "Well, I don't get hit very often because I'm usually like far away."
Cheshire?
What?
I'm
New clothes?
still up in the tower.
Billy like throws it over your head.
I'll fly back and forth. So she's like, "Oh, clothing." Goes up to Ori. "Hey, Ori, do you want some fireproof clothes?"
Yeah, that's
Okay, 1 second.
That's helpful.
It's almost like a cream-colored poncho that like goes over top, and it's this heavy, almost it feels like wool, but there is a waxy kind of texture to the front.
I'm
Is it
looking now
hot
at
to wear?
the gate.
It's not comfortable.
Okay.
I'm looking now.
Did you take the 4th one?
I'll take it.
All right.
We should hide these bodies? I say that question because
We have gotten into trouble before when we, haven't concealed the results of our deeds, and then Alina kind of just gestures at the massive dinosaur body.
You said you brought a spell to mold earth. Do you still have that?
Yes, but it's the volume of it is smaller than these bodies.
Okay.
Athorian says, "Well, how much smaller? I have a shovel."
Well, the limit of the spell is about 5 feet in each direction.
You can see he kind of like does some mental math and just goes, "Yeah, I don't think that's going to be practical."
We
could cut up the dinosaur and put it in the bag of holding.
I don't know if we have enough space in our bag of holding.
Yeah, that's true.
2. That's gonna take a long time, and I'm already bored.
Oh, you're already bored? You just did such a good job.
You did do a really good job.
Okay.
So far,
What'd
Ori,
you find there?
you haven't
Something
seen
good?
anything.
Maybe.
This is where it's like, this is now a narrow hallway
Yeah,
here.
and every now and then you see those stone pneumatic pillars just rise and fall. You can see the platforms themselves that form these stairs, shaped almost like a Legend of Zelda rupee. So not quite like rectangular. Each one rises about 30 feet when enough pressure has kind of like built up, and then slowly down to the bottom. And so if you think about it
Like a
visually,
solid pillar. when it
it's a
comes up.
hollow column, and then it's a solid pillar that goes up, and the next one goes up, and this one starts
Yeah.
going down, and the next one comes
And
up.
there's
And,
like squished hexagonal, octagonal,
A rupee shape.
hexagonal.
hexagonal.
So it sounds like we step into the
So,
hollow log essentially, and
we're playing
it goes
hexagon
up and
heat.
down.
You would be walking, you'd step,
Mario
it
Party
rises 30
sponsor.
feet, and then you wait for the next platform, you step, it rises 30 feet, and you hope that nobody else is coming down the stairs.
I think we should just get moving rather than try and hide the bodies. They already know we're here.
That's a good point.
Humanoids were brought in or
I'm not
back
carrying it.
out
They were brought in that direction.
in this direction.
No.
Oh, in that direction.
Yeah. So in the direction that Athorian went, probably further in that direction. He went and...
Past the visitor center.
Correct.
Should we help
From
those?
here, do I get a view of anything?
Make a perception
beyond
check. And make it at advantage as you have this height.
that? 21.
Beyond the visitor center, or what was called the visitor center, you can see elements of a damaged masonry, and there is flowing lava coming off the back of this building, and that's odd. You've seen lava used before as kind of a barrier by these fire giants and for decorative form elsewhere. Perhaps that is the direction that they have headed in.
Can I check to see whether the giant has any keys on him?
Make an investigation check.
Like for the chains or the
Like
cages?
more garnets, keys.
You can see at the moment,
Well, I was thinking more about like he's got people in chains. He's got cages. They probably have keys. Is that cocked? Do you think?
No, that's
Nah, it's good.
Is this the one who had the other cages on them?
correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, investigation.
I like his eyeball too.
Here we go.
Or his
Oh, look
Lack
at that. Dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, you don't really find anything else. What you do notice is that the cages, there is no lock on them. The ones that are shut, it looks like the metal has just been pinched together and just kind of almost like bent into that shape.
Like a twisty tie.
Very much like a twisty tie, yeah, but steel.
So, okay. So I'm just gonna again fly up to Oria and be like, "Hey, do you want to come down and join us so we can figure out what to do next?"
Yeah, they probably brought the prisoners over in that direction.
Okay,
If we're
so we
still trying to go after them. I'll be down.
I would
in a
like to
moment.
save those lives. Yes. Do you want me to give you a lift? No. Okay. Bye.
Or just starts jogging,
I'm taking my time.
using that cardio.
I'm taking my
Finish
rest. I've
prying
earned
those
it.
orbs off before we're done. I'm gonna start decorating the little monument there.
Okay, so you could add
Drawings.
300 pieces of gold in gold orbs, essentially. You begin to decorate the monument. At one point, this monument looks like the base of a statue. It's just kind of stone, and so just like flat surfaces for you
It's
to
an
work
empty
on.
canvas.
Yeah. As Cheshire begins to make some art, what are the rest of you doing?
Minka's gonna look towards like the pneumatic pillars to see if she can like see either any points where it's like where someone could be looking.
Make a perception
at us.
check, yeah.
Just be like, we're just kind of standing here in front of this giant gate. Let's just,
Yeah.
see if
Ended
anyone's
my watch
looking.
now.
Not
so-
phenomenal. I've been rolling like terrible. That's 15.
No. It seems like a pretty safe place, actually, when you really think about it. There's this huge fire giant and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I mean, now that they're gone, you're probably pretty safe.
Looking down here now that I'm at ground level, I would kind of go over in this way to see more down here.
So as you see up, certainly it does drop down below, but you can actually see the level above you a little bit better before you can see down. Above you, you can see just barely a sliver of sky. It seems like up above, if you rise up 4 of these 30-foot tall pillars, it then evens out and you can see maybe a porch, maybe a window. Hard to tell exactly what it is, but you see just a sliver of sky.
And that's like up the central chasm, presumably?
Correct.
Sorry, you done?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to kind of slowly and cautiously get a better view of this.
And as you get closer, you can see for sure there is smoke and ash falling in, and you hear elements of rolling thunder. You remember that huge cloud and that storm that coated the outside of this volcano. You are definitely looking at a space that is open to the outdoors.
Okay.
So, should we go rescue the people from that outpost now?
I would like to. I kind of feel like they just keep people here as T-Rex food. Or, sorry, whatever this animal is. Do I know what a T-Rex is?
I think I would have said what it was.
Oh,
Yeah, you heard the name. Probably not specifically, but like it's a huge monster. People hunt those. If you want to begin to make your way off in that direction, you certainly can.
Well, I'm just gonna look at the group and be like,
What are you gonna do with them?
they
You know there's 4 fire giants back there that we left, right?
And there's at least one of them back there for sure.
That's a good point. I mean, we can't just leave them there, right?
Yes, we can.
It might be safer if we leave them there.
And if they are Tyrannosaurus Rex food, it's not like this one's going to be eating anytime soon.
Yeah.
So it's a strange time for you to start valuing life in such a sentimental way.
All right, you.
And that's a little step too far, but yeah.
We're all right with killing all of these fire giants.
I'm alright with killing you.
Sensing the tension, I think Minka's gonna start looking at rocks and being like, I don't want to. Just like, this is too much for me
Make a
emotionally
cool
right
rock
now. I'm making a cool rock check. All my dice are.
Or it begins to walk off in the direction of the central shaft.
Alright.
Alina looks at the rest of the group and she's like, well,
I rolled a good for once. Not great, but better.
If we save those people, then the best chance for their survival is to tell them to hide in the city while we reclaim the mountain and ensure their immediate safety. Or we can go on and clear the mountain and hope that they are still alive. And I don't think there's a clear answer, so we should just decide one together.
I say the second one is obviously the clear answer.
They're probably safer where they are.
Just doing shock. With a 17, as you begin to look around for cool rocks, there was that big cluster of garnet. You turn around, you can see the fire giant has like fallen, and it is probably inside their body at the moment, like in their rib cage. You can definitely go through the giant to get to it if you want. It's hard because you can like visualize through the giant where it is.
Well, if we want a bunch of magical garnet, it's inside the giant right now.
What kind of magical garnet?
The kind with the opening the doors.
Probably.
what kind of inside?
I
So if
already have one. Do you think that this one doesn't open all the doors?
Well, it was just a natural cluster of it. I don't know if it has to be attuned to anything, but it's currently sticking in between its ribcage.
Billy starts to wander towards the entrance just to kind of make sure that we're not going to be snuck up on.
Okay, no worries.
I think we should probably continue on and catch up with Ori.
I don't.
Alina's just gonna follow Billy a bit petulantly.
Or you walk up, getting a little bit closer, and you look up and up and up. And you can see these stone steps rise and rise and rise. And as you get up, they begin a little higher and higher. And so you're not seeing all of them at the bottom. And at the very top, so far up that you can barely even see. Actually, why don't you go ahead and make a perception check?
Anyone?
Oh.
You don't see anything, but you feel watched. And then you don't.
They're waiting for us up there.
Alina's gonna follow his gaze up.
And then you watch like the stone steps, they're rising, and then they fall, and they don't start rising.
Wait.
They turned the stairs off.
Oh.
I don't like leaving them behind either, but
Who has the scrolls?
We do.
Alright.
I think we have our audience.
Are they gonna hear us?
Are we all with
When we
Ori
get
right
up
now?
there.
If you want to be.
Do I see anything?
Billy
I'll
just
walk over
begins
to Ori.
walking forward towards the stairs and brandishes the scroll of tongues.
To the first platform.
Okay.
Hold on.
Wait, well, I'm gonna wait and like stand at the edge to stand on when everyone else gets on.
Billy's stepping on it.
We are ready
step
to
on,
fight
yeah.
again.
Then I would step on.
You
Because
step on.
I don't
Well, I
know
think
if
Ori's ready.
Billy and Ori are both on the platform.
Alina shrugs and steps up because Billy's there,
Okay. 3 people.
staring daggers at Ori.
Okay.
Wait,
Minka, Minka runs over and casts.
I know, it's pretty.
And prepares cast guidance on Billy when she starts talking.
Athorian is going to stop right at the edge of the platform and he's going to say, I'll go with you guys if you want. But if you are concerned about these people, I can keep an eye on them. It's up to you.
we appreciate the extra hands, but we also know we've dragged you further into this than you wanted to go.
Admittedly, yes.
So keep an eye on those people. Keep them safe.
Very well. And he just turns and really quickly leaves the room before anybody else can reconsider that.
We changed our mind!
Sorry, I can't hear you. And he just keeps going.
So,
He's like walking as quickly as he can under the weight of this massive egg that he's strapped to his
It's pretty heavy, but is everybody stepping onto the platform?
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah. Do I see anything when I look up?
So you step onto the platform, and when the final person does, there is this ever so slight, and then the individual steps don't rise. The entirety of the platform just does. And you watch as the door behind you just disappears, and all around you there is just this heavy stone, and slowly this smoke is beginning to get closer and closer. The stone rises up. Make a perception check, fellas.
it's really,
Bella's rolling all day.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
action in
but
this call.
can Billy also make a...
Yes.
be looking in the direction.
Can we all make a perception?
Everybody go ahead and make a perception check.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Valis Numbies.
Okay,
You
there
guys
we go.
giving me a 25.
Okay.
26.
I got a 10 also.
We're thinking too much.
25 and 26. As you are watching, Ori, you're getting closer and closer. And as you're about to get within 10 feet of that smoke, suddenly you see these 2 huge red eyes look out from what is clearly a porch. You see the swarm swirling beyond. And then this huge stone pushed into place and blocks the porch. This platform rises up and is now even. You can still see just little bits of the sky, but you begin to go up and up and up, and soon you leave that behind. And Ori, and for the rest of you, you feel like you might be on an express trip up to the top. Because it is 10 o'clock, this is where we're going to end for the evening. But when we pick up next week, it is going to be a very interesting session. Thank you for joining us, and I'm going to turn it over to Alana for Mouse Leader.
Remember, guys, it's hard out there. Be kind to each other. Stay safe.
See you next week.